It's a Thursday night in downtown Utica, and thus a thirsty Thursday here at Jimmy John's Field, brought to you, as always, by Dave & Buster's here on the USPBL Network. I'm Brendan Shabath. That's aspiring motorcycle owner Nick Caruso on the broadcast today. First time on the pregame show, second time on the broadcast. Current assistant manager for the Utica Unicorns, former player here in the USPBL. Nick, always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on here with you. You know, broadcasting is always something I wanted to do and just try out, and it's been some fun so far. So I'm excited for my first pregame show.
And the reason we mention the aspiring motorcycle owner is because it's motorcycle night here at the ballpark. We're going to have some hot rides coming through on the warning track during the pregame that we're going to get to see. And it's Bad to the Bone night for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, wearing perhaps the coolest jersey you can find, the all blacks with the baby blue striping and the Bad to the Bone Woolly Mammoths logo. It's going to be a fun Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little jealous just being a former Mammoth that we didn't get to wear jerseys like this, but you know, I think just a black jersey that's got a good design is some of the slickest jerseys you'll find in the sport, and I'm excited to see them rep them tonight.
So it is Mammoths versus Beavers tonight. It's first place versus last place, but that's really not saying much. The Mammoths 17-14 on the season. The Beavers 3 games behind them, 14-17. However, the Beavers did end their 5-game losing streak last weekend. They swept in the doubleheader against the Unicorns. Nick, you were obviously coaching in those games, and that's a Beavers team that you guys probably went into that matchup thinking you could win. They turned it around with some offense and some good pitching, stuff we didn't see from them in that 5-game skid.
Absolutely. They came out with a chip on their shoulder and really wanted to get out of that losing skid. They pitched it really well, and they took advantage of the Unicorn mistakes. Unicorns made, I think, 4 errors in game 1, and they took full advantage, kind of made our pitcher throw a lot more pitches. And they put together some good at-bats and got just enough runs to get the 2 wins. The second game, they were up 1 run going to the last inning, and you know, instead of giving the Unicorns a chance, they scored 6 more and won the second game 9-2. It really got them on a groove here. Someone
we saw in that doubleheader against you guys was Andrew Verbrugge. He started game 2. He's going to start tonight as well. We talk about struggles for the Beavers as a team. Verbrugge has had his own struggles this season. We've talked about them on the broadcast. He started this year with the Hoppers, is now currently a Beaver. Had a good 2 innings against you guys in that game on Saturday in the doubleheader. Chance to get a real good start here and maybe go longer than 2 and kind of get his footing back.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting that fresh start with the Beavers, making his first true start. You know, with the struggles you mentioned on the Hoppers, he's looking to kind of figure some things out and get some good innings for the Beavers. So they're looking to get him 4 or 5 innings tonight and get to their really good bullpen.
And he's an arm that we know can be one of the best in the league, which is what we saw last season with the Hoppers, and you can attest to that, and we'll get into that later as you hit against him as a player. For the Mammoths, they've got the best offense in the league, almost 5 runs per game. And if it says anything about what type of person Taylor Jellikowski is, you look at his lineup tonight, he's got the best offense already, and he's still trying to improve it. Burl Dixon has had his share of struggles lately, usually in the 2-hole. Now he slides up to the 1 spot. He'll lead off tonight for the Mammoths. A new look for him and a chance to maybe just get his headspace in the right spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of a change in lineup, get him out of that recent everyday lineup change. So they did the same thing with Ward Hacklin, moved him from the 2-hole to the 1-hole, and he ended up hitting. Burl led off earlier in the year, I believe, a few times, and they're going to try and get him back into that spot so he can see a lot of good pitches and get the game started early and get the runs across the board.
And speaking of Ward Hacklin, he's on the bench tonight because there's a newcomer for the Westside Woolly Mammoths making his public game debut. Will be Trevor Austin out of Mercer. He's going to bring a lot of defense to that infield. He gets to start at shortstop tonight. We talked about Verbrugge and his struggles. There's still some Mammoths on the other side that have been struggling but have turned it around lately. Alex Garbasic now leads the team in average. He's hitting .305 this season. He had his first home run. That was in a non-public earlier this week. He's really turned it around. And Colby Seltzer, we saw the 3-run 9th inning comeback from the Mammoths last weekend. He had the game-tying home run. He's really turned it around as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially just speaking on the Burl Dixon struggles, having those 2 guys step up for the first time this season has been big for them and has attributed to a lot of their success. I think the biggest thing for them is, you know, they're coming out of college and they're just adapting. That adapting to the pro ball experience is very difficult, and a lot of guys struggle with it. Luckily, they were able to do it within just a short month, and now they're swinging it, and they're looking to continue doing that and to continue the Mammoth success.
Mammoths hanging on to first place here in the league. We'll bring you the standings at some point tonight, but after the break, we've got pitcher comparison and the starting lineups here on the USPBL Network.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, Thirsty Thursday Motorcycle Night. We've got the sweet rides out on the warning track right now along the first base side over by the Beavers dugout, as we've got Beavers and Mammoths, as we mentioned here on the USPBL pregame show. Let's look at tonight's presenting sponsors on the USPBL network. Ascension, Belfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, Dave & Buster's, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, and United Wholesale Mortgage. We thank all our sponsors here on the USPBL network for everything they do for us and the USPBL as a whole. Starting lineups tonight being exchanged at home plate. Let's take a look at the details. We'll begin with the 14 and 17 fourth place visiting Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Chris Davis, as always, leading things off and out in center field. Christian Ortega getting his sea legs under him. He's at third base defensively. Will bat second. J.D. Stubbs is on the other corner. He's at first and will bat third. Malik Bolin is out in left as he cleans things up. On the other corner in the outfield is Ray Hilbrick. He'll bat fifth and playing right. Rudy Ramirez is off his feet today as the designated hitter. He bats sixth. Marcus Judd is up the middle per usual at second base, batting seventh. Alex Crump has the duties behind the dish. He'll bat eighth. And Ben Wilcoxon, as always, is the shortstop and the 9-hole hitter for John Dombrowski and his squad tonight, as they're led on the mound by Andrew Verbrugge, making his third appearance as a Beaver. On the other side, it's the Mammoths, 17 and 14 on the season. First place, holding a slim 1.5 game lead over the Hoppers and the Unicorns, both tied for second. Burl Dixon, as we mentioned, in a new spot, leading things off, as usual, in center field defensively. Dre Williams-Nelson in an unfamiliar spot as well. He's the 2-hole hitter and will be out in left field defensively. There's a logjam of great, and I mean great, infield defenders for Taylor Jellikowski. So Dre Williams-Nelson is one of them, but he'll be out in left with the addition of Trevor Austin. Patrick Mills, the lefty, is out in right field and will bat third. Fox Liam is another lefty in the back-to-back slot. He'll bat fourth and play first base defensively. Livingston Morris is the designated hitter in the 5-hole. Alex Garbasic with his first home run this week. He's at third defensively and will bat sixth. Trevor Austin, the newcomer, making his public game debut, is at shortstop and will bat seventh. Zach Beadle has the duties behind the dish in the 8-hole, and Colby Seltzer, who's turned it on as of late, second base defensively. And in the 9 slot, they have Chase Gearing on the mound, making his first start with the Mammoths, third appearance overall, the native of Troy, Michigan. And there's the first look at those nice bad-to-the-bone jerseys. Garrett Martin, one of the aces, I think, for the Mammoths this season. And the rest of that dugout. There's Chase Gearing wearing number 25. He'll be on the mound in a few moments. And some of the sweet rides. Did you get a chance to look at any of those up close, Nick?
I checked them out. There's some nice Harley Davidsons down there. I don't know too much, but I mean, you're getting a good look of them right here. There's a lot of motorcycles down there, and my main concern is just seeing how quickly they can get off the field so we can play some baseball.
Because we got to play baseball. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. So as they announce the starting lineups, the Mammoths getting ready to go for their 18th win on the season. The Beavers right now on a 1-game losing streak, if you can call it that, but trying to right the ship. 14 and 17, they sit 3 games back of these Mammoths. And it's a Beavers team who, when you look at why they might be struggling, we'll get into it as the broadcast continues, but it's overall the pitching staff is really what has struggled. They have a solid bullpen, but it's primarily been the starters that have had the difficulty
this season. They have the highest walk percentage of any pitching staff in the league. Now, that also comes with the highest strikeout percentage, but I think in this league in particular, and Nick, you can attest to this, walks are very, very critical to giving up offense. It seems like the walk conversion rate of that runner becoming a run that scored has got to be above 50%. It seems like every time someone gets on via the walk, they come around to score.
Absolutely, those walks will always come to haunt you. Especially though leading off an inning with 1 or 2 walks. Then you're relying on defense. You're putting a lot more pressure on yourself as a pitcher, and you're trying to hit specific spots, and it kind of just all dominoes and piles up. And it's one of the biggest problems we've seen with Verbrugge this year. Didn't see as much of a problem last year, so I'm not sure if it's something mechanically or something like that, but he's going to get another chance with the Beavers here to dial it in and really give himself a good outing.
We talked about it earlier. Verbrugge this season, 28 walks and 26 strikeouts. Very different numbers from last year, where he doubled the strikeouts over the walks. We'll see how this start goes. We expect him to go the full length as long as he can tonight for the Beavers. We'll have first pitch for you after the break. Mammoths in their bad to the bone jerseys. Beavers on motorcycle night. It's Thirsty Thursday here at Jimmy John's Field, the home of USPBL baseball.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
At Ascension, Michigan, we're committed to being your first choice for healthcare. Our nationally recognized heart program is the leader throughout Michigan in minimally invasive heart valve procedures. For joint replacement, spine, and cancer care, patients choose our specialists for advanced care and treatment. And we also excel in the things that can't be measured. Listening more closely, caring more compassionately.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Back here at Jimmy John's Field, you see the motorcycles departing past Chase Gearing, who is taking his time on the mound. There's, I don't know, Nick, you were down there, got to be close to 25, maybe even 30 bikes out here tonight, so they're going to take their time getting off the field, and that gives us an opportunity to look at the standings in the league powered by United Wholesale Mortgage. So as we mentioned, Mammoth 17-14, Beavers 14-17, 3 games back. The Hoppers have snagged a couple wins. Their offense is perked up behind Joe Burke, who leads the league in home runs now with 7. They're 16-16. And your Unicorns, 14-14. No non-publics this week for you guys, but you got a busy weekend coming up after tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday clip. Last game we played was doubleheader Saturday, so 6 days off. We've been practicing, just trying to keep our swing fresh. We'll see how the guys come out tomorrow night, hopefully ready to swing. Our pitching's been phenomenal, and that's the main reason we have 14 wins, and we have 102 runs scored, 103 runs given up, and 103 runs given up is by far the lowest amount in the league. So if the offense comes around, I think they'll be in a good spot.
And 6 days off, obviously you were here as a player, here as a manager. That's atypical for the middle of the season. Really, you just don't usually get that long of a stretch without playing.
No, you usually don't. But if you look at our schedule, we have a lot of games coming up. We play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're off Monday. We play Tuesday. Off Wednesday, Thursday, play Friday, Saturday. So we're going to have a pretty busy 2 weeks for this league, and hopefully our guys get in the groove. But
let's take a look at the pitcher comparison between the guys tonight, brought to you by Ascension, as always, Andrew Verbrugge. Those are the stats he has with the Beavers this season. A 9 ERA in 5 innings. There's a good start for Andrew, though. More strikeouts than walks, 6-3. That has been the problem stat this year, is the free passes for Verbrugge. Gearing's off to a good start, just 1 earned run in the 9 innings for him, and also 9 strikeouts. 1 per inning is a pretty decent clip to start the season.
Absolutely, fills up the zone. Gives himself a chance to beat these batters, and I'm curious to see what he brings tonight.
So it will be Chris Davis, followed by Christian Ortega and J.D. Stubbs to lead things off against the Grand Rapids native Andrew Verbrugge. Couple motorcycles left, and then a couple of fans. This gives us time to check the defense and how it shapes out behind Gearing tonight. The defense, as always, brought to you by Three-Dimensional Services in the U.S. BBL Network. So as we mentioned, Dravion Williams-Nelson getting a start in left field. Talked to Taylor Jellikowski about that before the game, and mentioned the logjam of good infield defenders he had. And he did make sure to mention that Williams-Nelson is going to be good in left field as well. This guy's just a great defender, a great baseball player. We'll see him showcase the left field skills tonight. Burl Dixon in center, Patrick Mills out in right, wearing number 41 tonight. Typically 13, but the bad to the bone jerseys means he's got a different number, as do some of the other guys. Garbasic and Liam are on the corners. Trevor Austin making his start at shortstop in his first public game here in the league. Colby Seltzer is over at second base, and Zach Beadle is the catcher tonight. Davis leading these Beavers in essentially every category. Average, on base, slugging, home runs, runs batted in, walks, and stolen bases.
Chris Davis has made a lot of adjustments from last year in his swing. I believe he trains at drive line all offseason. It's really showing and proving for him as he's become a staple in that leadoff spot.
First pitch in at 7:05, right on time, and it's ball 1 high and outside to Davis. Gearing, 5 pitches, both fastballs, and then a knuckleball, curveball, and changeup. Didn't see too much of the knuckleball in the first 2 outings. Not really sure if we're going to see it at all. Very difficult for a new catcher with a new pitcher to get used to that.
Absolutely. A knuckleball, it's tough to rely on a knuckleball, not a pitch that you can throw in every single count. With the guy in third, it's a lot more, it's a lot tougher of a pitch to throw then too. So if you can't trust it and can't throw it in every count, it's ends up usually being not worth it.
Quickly 3 balls and no strikes, and it didn't take long for Chris Davis, the best on-base man on the Beavers, to get on to lead things off. A 4-pitch walk, and that leaves 1 on and nobody out for Christian Ortega.
I'd be looking for some action early out of Chris Davis here. Likes to run. You got a very good defensive catcher in Zach Beadle, who will pop around a 1-8 to a 1-9 down to second base. So could be in for a good one here.
Davis with a decent first lead. Gearing fires in a strike. Fastball, the first strike of the night for Chase. Oh, 1 high and tight. Gearing not far from here where he grew up. Troy, Michigan. Just down M59. What, 15 minutes? Not far at all.
Not far at all.
And a little uncomfortable on the mound. He'll step off.
Gearing missing a lot of arm side in his first 6 pitches of the game. You look to make an adjustment with an off-speed pitch or just trying to get that fastball across the other side.
Breaking ball slides in there. That is the curveball, 1-2. Nice pitch to get back in front. When you see a guy miss arm side, what does that tell you as a hitter?
As a hitter, as a right-handed hitter, and it's a right-handed pitcher, you get a little nervous coming up and in. I would just start to look for a different play or a different pitch.
Ortega, high chop to Austin. His only play is at first base as Davis gets down the line quickly. He's over at second, so Ortega advances the runner. They trade a base for an out. Man in scoring position for J.D. Stubbs. Putout goes 6-3 on the first out. Stubbs batting .259 this year. A little bit more pop than a season ago. First pitch outside. The OPS right around 100 points more for JD at this point in the year than it was last year. Fouls it off. And that's interesting for Stubbs, too, because he came late last year, so he only played 30 games in the season, this being his 32nd game. So this is a good spot to stop and judge his progression from last year to this year. Batting average is up, OPS is up, RBIs doubled as well. Swing and a miss on the curveball, 1-2.
Absolutely. JD, just like Chris Davis, has made a lot of good adjustments. He's a great hitter. You'll see his strengths come shooting that left center gap. Put a lot of balls, 95, 100 miles an hour exit velo. Just looking to pull a few more balls and get it over that 320 sign. You know, he's got a lot of power. What he'd like to see a little bit more use out of it, but with his approach and the way things are going, he's not mad.
He calls time here. Davis at second, 1 down. The 1-2. Fouled again. And Stubbs is one of those guys who, I think like any player, sure, he would like the power, but he's not too concerned with his approach, and he's not going to change much. And if the power comes, it comes. If it doesn't, he's still going to have that high batting average.
Yeah, absolutely.
Curveball outside.
Even talking to him today, today he said was his best batting practice he's taken. You get a lot of guys that come in here and see the short porches and they want to just try and put balls out, but he just went gap to gap just trying to shoot line drives. He said he didn't put a single ball out in BP, and we all know he can, and he just kind of stayed to his approach and hoping it translates to this game.
Swing and a miss. Got him down low. Beadle drops it, so he'll tag out Stubbs for the second out. First strikeout of the day for Gearing.
A very good place change up there with his 4-pitch mix so far today. Got JD swinging.
Interesting that you mentioned that Stubbs said today was his best batting practice without a single home run. I mean, that tells you a lot about him and his approach and just what he values as a hitter.
Right, absolutely. I think it shows a lot of maturity for him.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys want to feel good about hitting a home run. I can't lie. I mean, I've been there. I didn't hit a lot of home runs in game, so in batting practice it felt good to get a few out. But you go watch big leaguers like Miguel Cabrera, well-established hitters, take batting practice. They're not putting many out, and they know they can. So
The 0-1. Perfectly placed fastball. 0-2 quickly on Bolin.
Two-strike approach here for Malik. He likes to push it to the second baseman. That's his approach. We'll see if he does that here.
Davis leads off at second, back up the middle, right under the legs of Chase Gearing. Davis getting the stop sign at third. Dixon with a plus arm throws it over home plate. Luckily, it was backed up by Gearing. Bolin advanced to second on the throw. Heads up base running by Malik. Beavers don't get anything across on the base knock, though. It's second and third with only 2 outs.
96 miles an hour off the bat. You know, just stayed straight through it, right back up the middle. Dixon got a little excited on that throw. Was surprised John Dabrowski held Davis up at third. Malik, some great base running, never even lost stride to get to second base. That's one that they might want back if Hillbridge comes to bring in 2 runs here.
Hilbrick looks at a curveball, strike 1. Seems like Gearing has a good feel for that breaking ball right now. Couple first pitch strikes with it here in the first. 5th batter to come up for the Beavers. Surprised to see Dombrowski hold Davis at third. Davis with plus speed too, and after seeing that throw from Dixon, maybe Diesel wants that decision back.
2 outs, first inning. A couple runners on base. I think that's something you try and push there. You got nothing to lose. You got a lot of game left. Try and take that early lead in the top of the first.
Outside on the 1-1, well framed by Beetle, but he won't get the call. 2 balls, 1 strike. Impressive by Davis to stop, too. He rounded the bag pretty quickly because he's expecting to be sent there. I think most guys would have ran through that stop sign.
That's a great way to run the bases. You know, you want to be relentless out there. You go heads down until you get to your coach, and then you let him make the decision. You know, Davis doesn't have a good view on where that ball is. We know Burl Dixon's a plus center fielder, so Diesel wasn't comfortable sending there, and Davis was, you know, picking up his coach right there and stopping on a dime.
3-1 on Hilbrick, and he walked him. That'll load the bases. Brings up Rudy Ramirez, the DH tonight. So 2 walks and a strikeout in this inning for Gearing, trying to get out of an early jam. And he hit Ramirez. Tried to go back to that curveball on the first pitch, and it backed up on him. Bases juiced. That'll bring home a run. The Beavers are on the board first.
Same thing, misses arm side. He's got a lot of those curveballs over for strikes early in this game, but they've all been coming around the outside of that plate. You know, if I was Zach Beal here, I'm going out, trying to break it down a little bit. He's got he's a lot of pitches in so far, so just giving him a little breather and just trying to give him a little cue here to make that adjustment and work in on the lefty or work away from Marcus Judd here, you know, just to get back into that zone, get back into his groove, because 3 walks in 9 innings, and he's got 2 walks and a hit by pitch already tonight. You know, that's something that we're going to have to adjust if he wants to go a good outing for the Mammoths and put them in a good spot to win.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He hasn't been in this spot before with only 3 walks in 9 innings. He hasn't had more than 1 walk in an inning. So that's a new situation for him to deal with. The 1 earned run that Gearing given up this year was a home run. Judd on the ground to second. Seltzer will field it on a backhand hop and an easy flip over to first. So the Beavers do get 1 thanks to Rudy Ramirez taking it on the back with the bases loaded as Chris Davis scores. They have an early 1-0 lead, and Chelsea Cooper has the Thrifty Florist sweetheart of the game.
101 for JJ, the field general sweetheart of the game, presented by Michigan First Credit Union. And he found such a special fan in the stands today. He found Keelan, and he gave her this beautiful bouquet of flowers presented by Thrifty Florist. So thank you, JJ, and thank you, Thrifty, for your beautiful flowers and for finding the perfect sweetheart. Kevin, back to you.
Chelsea throwing it up to Kevin, our PA announcer tonight. We're going to throw it to Andrew Verbrugge on the mound. This is just his second start as a Beaver, third appearance. He did make an appearance and a start last week, that appearance coming in relief in one of the Beavers' weekend games. And we talked to John Dombrowski today, more accurately, Nick, you did. And Verbrugge's got the full leash tonight.
Absolutely. You know, when he first hopped over to the Beavers, no pun intended, going from the Hoppers to the Beavers, he was kind of not on he was on a like short rest, so they wanted to kind of work him into it, trying to make some adjustments to get back to his old self. Tonight he is not on a leash. He's got full pitch count. They're expecting him to go 5-6 innings and get them a quality start.
That last start was just under a week ago on the Saturday doubleheader, July 29th, against your Unicorns, like we mentioned. Only went 2 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts for Andrew. I think part of it is he was on short rest. And also, those were a good 2 innings. Let's leave it there. Not allow the chance for anything else to be tacked on to this box score for Verbrugge.
Absolutely. And I was coaching first base that game, and there was one off-speed pitch he threw at 80 miles an hour. He ended up getting a strikeout on it. And I asked him after the game, I was like, what was that pitch? And he's kind of working on it. It's more of a sweeper type pitch, and it was wipeout, and I could tell just from the first base coaching box. So I told him, I said, man, just keep throwing that. Just keep making those adjustments. I'll be curious to see if we see that a lot. An 80-mile-an-hour pitch that moves like it did can be very effective.
So previously, Andrew had both fastballs, curveball, changeup, slider. So that sweeper is worked in there. We'll get a chance to look tonight and see what he switches it more, whether it's the curveball or the slider. They all effectively have the same idea, the same philosophy, curveball, sweeper, slider, and even the cutter is just a harder velocity version of that same pitch.
Right.
Something that runs glove side. So for Verbrugge, the righty, would run away from right-handed hitters and into left-handed hitters. And induces swing and miss. So we'll see that sweeper tonight at some point. He'll face lefty, righty, lefty at least here in the first inning. Led by Burl Dixon. First pitch swinging. Dixon, couple bounces to Wilcoxon. Fielding behind second base. He throws Dixon out by a step.
Dixon trying to take advantage of that leadoff spot. First pitch swinging. And breaks his bat, but he got down that line quick and made it a lot closer play than it should have been.
Guy who certainly runs very quickly, leading the Mammoths in steals this year with 14. Only been caught once, Dixon. Trey Williams Nelson digging in now. First pitch, got him. And he is not happy about that. I don't know that I've seen anybody step into the box like Williams Nelson, who wants to hit more. Every time he does anything that's not a hit, you could tell he so badly wants to just step back in that box and swing the bat and get a base hit.
Yeah, he was frustrated there, and he had his elbow guard on, so it was not a pain, really. You know, he wants to get in there and hit, do some damage, and get this lineup going.
And certainly no frustration with Verbrugge or anything. He's just a guy who loves baseball and wants to swing the bat. So 1 on and 1 out for Patrick Mills. Curveball outside. Williams Nelson with both a big primary and secondary lead at first. He's stolen a base already in the league. Didn't steal a ton in the minors when he was with the Angels. Very big primary lead. Does not go, and Verbrugge misses outside again. 3 balls and no strikes on Mills.
2 very good defensive catchers tonight, especially with Crump on the Beavers. You know, really gets that ball out of his glove on a pop time. So you might see Williams Nelson try and get a good jump here with that lead, but nothing yet.
Does not go, and a 4-pitch walk to Mills. So that's what we're paying attention to all night for both of these guys. Geary, a guy who doesn't walk batters, walked 2 in the first, and Verbrugge, that's what he's trying to fix, is the walks. First one tonight to Mills.
Both pitchers with similar mistakes so far, all missing arm side. 2 couple hit batters, haven't really seen anything come into a lefty or away on a righty.
First pitch swinging Liam softly into right center. No man's land. It drops in front of everybody. Williams Nelson goes to third lately as Mills is in safely at second. Williams Nelson was tagging at the second base bag, so now it's bases loaded with one out. Brings up Livingston Morris.
Verbrugge can't even be mad about that. He finally came in on a lefty, got Fox Liam jammed on that, and Chris Davis just couldn't get to it. Just found that perfect spot in the outfield. Now you got the bases loaded with only one out. You look for a ground ball here, or let that good middle infield turn a double play.
Morris looks at a breaking ball, strike one.
Strong wind out to right center as well. You could see Livingston Morris put this ball over.
Skips in, runners hold, good block by Crump.
It was a phenomenal stop. Middle of the left-hander's batter's box, and Crump got over there easily, blocked it right back down the drain.
Livingston, not a great ground ball candidate. About even with the flyouts and groundouts. They'll make Verbrugge throw him a strike here. 2-1. Beavers got on the board first. Rudy Ramirez was hit by the pitch with the bases loaded. Mammoths trying to respond in the bottom half of the inning. Swing and a miss on the fastball up. Two. Inside, count goes full.
Just missed him.
Williams Nelson at third, Mills at second, Liam at first. Hit, batter, walk, single is how they all got there. Full count to Morris. Inside, he walked him, nearly hit him. Either way, it's ball 4 to bring home a run.
That's not the way you want to start if you're Verbrugge. You gotta make adjustments on the fly. Let's see if he can do it against Alex Garbasic, who's been one of the hottest hitters on the Mammoths right now with a home run earlier in the week, over a 300 average now. He's really locked in, adapted well to this pro ball experience. So he's looking to do some damage and give the Mammoths a big inning to start.
Garbasic now leads the Mammoths in batting average this season at .304 in his first 20 professional games. First pitch swinging, and it's fouled back.
He's up there ready to hit. He's aggressive, and that's probably attributed to a lot of his success. I don't know what his pitches seen per plate appearance are, but he was ready to go on that first pitch right there, right after a walk.
A one swing and a miss. On the breaking ball, still only one out in the inning, 0-2. Talked to Taylor Jellikowski today about why is Alex Garbasic leading the team in batting average. And he said it was funny. He talked to his team when their offense was struggling a little bit. Strike 3 called. Garbasic looks at a sweeper outside, perfectly placed by Verbrugge, and the first strikeout of the game.
And there's that new pitch. He's 1 for 1 on it. Run around that 79 to 81 range, a lot firmer, a different look to these hitters, and it bit. You could see that from up here in the booth, and caught just that outside corner and got Garbasic looking.
That will bring up Trevor Austin with a chance to give the Mammoth the lead in his first public game. Curveball missing. But anyways, back to Garbasic. Asked Taylor Jellikowski why he's playing so well. He said he had a meeting with his team to talk about their approach and said too many of you are trying to do what you think will get you out of this league, and a lot of you think that's home runs. A lot of you think it's extra bases, and you're forcing the issue. He put out Alex Garbasic to his team as an example. I say, look, this guy's just playing baseball. He's just trying to go gap to gap like we mentioned. Sure enough, it's that same day Alex Garbasic gets his first home run of the year, but he is now leading the team in batting average, and that's why, because he's just going up there, just trying to do the right thing, the situational hitting, and sometimes that results in a home run.
Right, makes Jelly look like a genius in his speech to his team, but just playing for Jelly, he's a phenomenal hitter. He's very knowledgeable in that. So him taking all those hitters under his wing, they have a great mentor at the helm But he's right. A lot of guys come into this league and they overthink. Like, okay, if I don't hit, I'm going to get released. And I mean, it's professional baseball. It's a business. A lot of people put too much pressure on themselves, and Garbs doesn't have that on him, and he's been doing well.
Inside, got him looking, strike 3. Andrew Verbrucki concedes the run, but leaves the bases loaded on back-to-back strikeouts looking against the Beavers. Avoids giving up the lead. We're tied after 1. It's 1 apiece on the USPBL network.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
With a transforming world, we can see how drastically the world is heading towards automation. And so, we need 24/7 surveillance and security systems for our homes and businesses to avoid any theft or breach of privacy. JARBCOM brings the installation of security cameras to the tip of your fingers with our state-of-the-art mobile app. JARBCOM also provides surveillance monitoring of your entire property with flexible options that offer a dependable solution to be scaled to fit any domestic or commercial need. Contact JARBCOM today for a free estimate at 800-369-0374 or look us up on the web at jarbcom.com.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Thirsty Thursday at the ballpark. Sure, those kids are thirsty. Not the kind that we're talking about, but they got the Gatorade in the water bottles. Beavers tied with the Mammoths right now, 1 apiece as we're in the 2nd inning. 8, 9, and 1 due up for Birmingham Bloomfield. That's Crump, Wilcoxon, and Davis.
Be a key inning for Gearing. Try and get through the bottom of that lineup and flip it over to Davis and get the leadoff hitter out and just get back on track here.
Really the first chance we are getting to see in Gearing's USPBL career at how he handles adversity. Saw 7 batters in that first inning, walked 2 of them, gave up a base hit, and allowed the only run after hitting Rudy Ramirez with the bases loaded.
Another pitch high and in.
Still looking for that first knuckleball from Gearing. Fastball roped out to left. Crump got out in front of it. That's going to get all the way to the corner. Williams-Nelson scoops it up against the wall. Crump easily into second base with a leadoff double.
99-mile-an-hour exit velo. You look at Crump's numbers, and he's struggled for the most of the year. He splits time as a catcher, so he's not getting consistent at bats. But he's put some good swings on balls and just wasn't able to find a hole. So having him lead off with a double is great for this Beavers offense, and bring up Wilcoxon, a guy that's going to put the ball in play and move him over to third, and then you're at the top of the lineup, ready to bring that guy home.
That double is Crump's first extra base hit in the league. First pitch on the ground, Austin. On a weird in-between hop, fields it cleanly, and Wilcoxon is out. Put out goes 6-3 on Wilcoxon for Crump. That's just his 3rd hit in 23 games this year. Could be a big one with the top of the order up and himself in scoring position. Breaking ball misses.
Wilcoxon's going to wish he had that one back. Unproductive at bat. Not able to move him over. Now you need a single through the infield to bring Crump home.
Davis looks at a ball low. Chris Davis in 6 pitches hasn't seen a strike tonight. Walked on 4 pitches last inning.
Might get a little frustrated, a guy that likes to hit.
That seems to be the biggest gripe with the best hitters in the league, is not seeing enough strikes and not seeing, more specifically, enough fastballs. And Chris Davis has seen 8 pitches tonight, all of them outside the strike zone.
25 walks total, that'll definitely help the on-base percentage, along with 39 hits. He's having a great year. Seeing the ball a lot better, kind of making sure he's waiting until he gets that pitch in his zone. He's not afraid to take that walk. 25 walks here and limited at-bats is phenomenal.
And only 28 strikeouts on the season for Davis. Check swing for Ortega went too far, strike 1. We've talked this season about the fact that most players in this league are, simply put, not looking to walk. They're trying to get hits, as is almost every hitter. And, no one really goes to the plate in baseball looking for a walk, and it's just about plate discipline and approach and whatnot. But the conversation of, walks won't necessarily get you a major league contract with a major league organization. But there is something to be said for a guy like Davis, who's hitting .350 and leading his team and one of the top guys in the league in walks. Ortega way up into the sky and Garbasics under it.
Right. I mean, that goes back to what Taylor Jellikowski was saying to the Mammoths. Like, guys are thinking, if you're getting 10 to 12 at-bats a week, you want to go up there and hit all 10 to 12 at-bats. You're not really too worried about the walk. So you will see a few guys get frustrated. You'll see guys get frustrated when all they get is off-speed. But you give yourself, some good numbers at the plate and a name on your back. Like, guys are going to be coming for you, and they're going to try not to give you anything to hit. And that's exactly what they've done with Davis tonight.
J.D. Stubbs, for the second time tonight, takes a strike. And the proof is in the pudding in guys like Davis and Dixon. One got away from Beetle for a moment, but he hopped on it quickly, 1-1. Guys that can lead the league in both walks and hits.
Absolutely. He's just got a very sound approach, and it's working out for him extremely well.
I think what stands out is, you mentioned, only getting 10 to 12 at-bats in a week. There's a lot of urgency and impatience in that. And what are Burl Dixon and Chris Davis the best at? I think it's being patient at the plate.
Absolutely. I was a completely different hitter. I like to go up there and swing right away. But, I mean, just to have that confidence in yourself to wait for that your own pitch, or the one that you want, just to know that pitch is going to come, and when you get it, especially for Chris Davis, just doing what he's done this year, he's put a lot of damage on balls.
3 balls and 1 strike on J.D. Stubbs. Go ahead.
In the non-public yesterday, I mean, the same thing. They threw him a fastball, and it just happened to leak middle, and I'd love to see the TrackMan numbers on it, but he put a good swing on that ball and hit his 5th home run of the year.
Yep. Gearing needs a strike. He won't get it. Bases loaded for the 2nd inning in a row. And back to, you commended Davis for being someone who can wait for his pitch. It's got to be a pretty bad feeling as a hitter to swing at a pitch that isn't yours and not get an intended result. You get a pop out, you get a ground out, whatever, and you think, man, maybe if I just took that pitch or just took a different pitch in that at bat, I could get one that I wanted.
Right, that's where a lot of your frustration will come from. Just knowing that you swing early in the count and a pitch that you shouldn't have swung at, like, it's going to happen. It's baseball. I mean, it happens to everybody, but you definitely leaves you with some frustration. So that's where you got to have, you got to be a goldfish for all those Ted Lasso fans out there, and just kind of flush it down the toilet and just let it all out and just make it wait until you get your next at bat. That's if Chris Davis gets a pitch to hit today.
Bolin gets out of the way of the curve, 1-1. We had Ted Lasso Day at the ballpark last summer.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's on the jersey. I don't know if it's on the docket this summer, but
that was one of the auction jerseys last year. So
it was, yeah.
That was the Beavers. It was awesome.
Bolin swings at the curve. That's out into center field. Dixon catches it to save a run. A little falling forward catch for Burl Dixon in the left center gap. Keeps us tied at 1 as we head to the bottom of the second.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Time for the bottom of the second, and when it's time for baseball, it's time for beer. Thirsty Thursday. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Homebrewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. Andrew Verbrugge out for his second inning. It was a bumpy one for Chase Gearain, who had a bumpy first inning. But he was able to get out of it unscathed, and Andrew Verbrugge is looking to have the same fortune. Gave up 1 run in the first, trying to hold them scoreless in the second. He will also face the 8-9-1 in the Mammoths lineup, Beadle, Seltzer, and Dixon. Very similar first innings for each of these two guys.
Yeah, basically the exact same inning. They both missed arm side, put themselves in some trouble, and they limited damage. So Verbrugge's going to look to bounce back here. You know, had bases loaded with 1 out, and only got away with it with 1 win. And for me, that's a win, you know, just to limit that, keep it a tie game, and hopefully settle in here and get a clean inning.
Another arm side miss inside, ball 1 to Beadle. Verbrugge ended that first inning and got out of that jam, as you mentioned, Nick, with back-to-back strikeouts.
Yeah, dotted 2 pitches, you know, to get out of it. Made his pitch, didn't cave into the hitters, and got the job done.
And it seems like tonight the sweeper that you mentioned is the pitch for Verbrugge that is the most accurate. There's another spiked fastball. Beadle avoided it, but it's 3-0 on 3 straight fastballs.
A pitch like that with Verbrugge is really one that makes you think. Like last year, I don't recall ever seeing a pitch like that. I mean, probably about 89, 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and just ran completely behind Beadle. You know, that's not a pitch you were ever really concerned about seeing last year.
See if he can find the zone here on 3-0. He does with the fastball. Second base, Judd backs up, fields it into his chest, took an awkward hop, and that's a pretty nice play by Marcus Judd on that strange bounce to get the out. Now one of the hottest hitters in the Mammoths lineup, Colby Seltzer. At one point this season, Colby was 0 for 29. Takes a ball up. Now 8 for 48, and 2 of those 8 are home runs, including a game-tying 2-out home run in the bottom of the 9th last week.
He's been extremely hot recently. You know, that's where I just think, you know, just trying to calm himself down and just to adapt to that pro ball experience. You know, instead of thinking about, okay, if I do this, I'm going to get released, going up there and staying true to your approach. And he's got 2 doubles and 2 home runs in those 8 hits. And they've been some key RBIs, and, you know, he's helping the Mammoths, you know, get their victories and hold that first place spot.
You know, it's almost like you played here in this league.
It's crazy.
Because I talked to Jellikowski about Colby. He said the exact same thing. 4-pitch walk to Seltzer. That's the 3rd of the night for Verbrugge. He said, I said, why is Seltzer so much better now? He said he's just more comfortable. That's all it is. He's not worried about getting released, like you mentioned. He's not worried about getting promoted and getting out of here. He's just got comfortable. He's a great defender, so he stays in the lineup for his plus defense. And then he turned around the bat, and now he's become a decent 9-hole hitter.
Absolutely. You know, he's just playing the game. It's a very simple game, and we like to make it a little bit more difficult on ourselves, you know. And then just to take 4 pitches there and get on base, just to turn it over to Dixon here, and hopefully he can get his slump over with right here and advance this inning on.
Pitch clock violation on Verbrugge. He still threw the pitch, so it is 1 pitch and a ball. Dixon grounded out his first time on 1 pitch. Swings at the first live pitch and fouls it back. You mentioned the slump for Dixon. It's now 0 for his last 15, spanning the last 5 games when you include his first ground out tonight. Curveball outside, 2-1. You got to go back to July 22nd to find the last Burrell-Dixon base knock. Popped up, left side foul. That will reach the seats, which isn't terribly long. It's right around 10 days for Burrell, but for a guy who back on July 28th was hitting .343 and is now down to .303. That's a stark difference from the first 20 games of the season for Burrell to the last 5.
Yeah, it's a very frustrating stretch, you know. I mean, he seems to have dealt well with it, and
this one's down the right field line, and it hooks just foul. Dixon thought he found one. Pretty good swing, at least.
Yeah, it's a good way to battle, 2-strike approach, just kind of fighting those pitches off. It was a borderline pitch, but it's not one you can take.
So 2-2, Seltzer over at first, 1 out in the inning. Lefty on righty, Dixon, one of 3 lefties in the Mammoths lineup tonight. Takes a ball outside, full count. Second inning on the U.S. PBL Network, brought to you by Budweiser. The payoff pitch to Dixon. He takes strike 3. Verbrugge backdoor curveball. Just caught the plate, and that's the second out.
Yeah, it's in there for a strike on the outside corner. Tough pitch to take, and his Dixon struggles continue.
How about Verbrugge? 3 walks today, 3 strikeouts, all backwards Ks.
He's made big pitches, you know, when they've mattered. You know, just kind of making those slight adjustments. It seems like his fastballs are the only pitches really missing. Once he can lock that back in, he'll be right back on track. But he's limited damage, and he's looking to get out of this inning unscathed.
Williams-Nelson hit by a pitch last inning, and now it's a second time. You can see and understand the frustration on Williams-Nelson's face. He's seen 3 pitches tonight, and 2 of them have clipped him.
He's frustrated. I think I can promise you that Verbrugge's not trying to hit him. You know, he doesn't want to put another runner on base with 2 outs. So it's just pure frustration out of a guy that wants to hit. You know, it's tough, but you're on base to help your team, and you're going to get another at bat. So just put that behind you and look to be running home here.
There is very rarely any intentional hitting in this league. Everybody's just friends among the 4 teams. Guys live together, train together, practice together, work together on days off on the same staff.
Right, that'd make for an interesting interesting conflict if you had some struggles with a guy. You know, like they could have practice together the next day.
Right.
It'd be a lot more severe. But you know, we don't have time for that. Everybody wants the same goals. You know, we're all trying to get out of here and just play baseball.
Yeah, despite any frustrations that Williams-Nelson has, he understands that he and Verbrugge want the same thing for themselves and for each other.
is a little unfortunate that he was hitting the elbow both times.
That's why you wear the guard. Mills swings at the 3-0, green light, and he misses for strike one.
What are your thoughts on a 3-0 swing?
I'm here for it.
I've swung 3-0 once in my life. I fouled it off between my legs. Never did it again.
Auto take 3-0 from Nick Caruso. Now 3-1 and 3-2.
Maybe caught the corner borderline pitch. Patrick Mills thought he had a walk there.
I think I would just convince myself in the box, no matter what. Every time 3-0, I would convince myself he's going to throw a strike here. He needs one. So I'll swing. 3-2, runners both go with 2 outs. Looped foul to third base. And Ortega easily makes the play. Patrick Mills frustrated with himself after the little pop out. Scoreless in the second inning. It's still 1-1 after 2 on your home for USPBL Baseball.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and recenter life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Beavers always happy to oblige with the kids that want some autographs. Someday that autograph might be worth a lot. You just never know. 50 different players in the USPBL signed to major league organizations. A couple have gone on to pitch or play in the show. Always noteworthy here in the USPBL.
I mean, man, what an exciting experience just as a coach, you know, to be able to tell those guys that they're getting that call, you know, just being close with Kyle Bischoff and with Duncan Hewitt, you know, like dang near brings tears to my eyes, you know, just being able to tell them that moment. It's like a life-changing moment for them, and it's everything they've ever wished for.
Hilbrick fouls it back. It'll be Hilbrick, Ramirez, and Judd, 5, 6, and 7 in the third. You were talking today that, you know, we talk about the trickle effect in baseball from the major leagues all the way down to independent ball about a former USPBL legend who might be getting a call-up soon. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're kind of just looking at the depth charts and speculating with the Colorado Rockies organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Dugan Darnell, you know, local D3 guy, played at Adrian College. Never played with him. He did get picked up out here, but I was able to train with him, catching bullpens and stuff like that.
Hilbrick on the ground, backhand fielded by Liam. He'll flip to Gearing.
And Dugan, you know, recently this year called up to AAA. You'll see the Colorado Rockies struggling this year. They sold at the deadline. You know, you could see a September call-up, get his feet wet, you know, just trying to get an outing or two, and then have a good spring training and start the next year at the big league level. But, you know, he's running his fastball up to 97. He's got a wipeout splitter. Just an overall great guy. And, you know, someone that I would love to see succeed.
You want to pitch in the majors? 97 fastball and a splitter? Pretty good combination to have nowadays. The Rockies obviously sold a lot of pieces at the deadline, being the worst team in the NL. Ramirez 2 bounces to Austin, who throws him out. 2 up and 2 down. Maybe a stabilizing inning for Chase Gearing. Judd for the second time tonight. Grounded out back in the first inning. He was the last out in that 7-batter inning, where still only 1 run came across. That's where we are right now.
despite the numbers that the pitchers are putting up in the hit by pitch and walk category, they've really found a way to limit the damage.
So I was going to say, I mean, for Geary, and I'm sure he doesn't love having a hit batter and 4 walks already, but he's almost through this 3rd inning if Austin fields this cleanly. And he does. Nice pick by Liam over at first with only 1 run to come across. So still tied at 1. Chase Gearing gets his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. That nice pick by Liam, the 5th third out recorded of this ball game, brought to you very aptly by Fifth Third Bank. JJ out in shallow right, making his nightly water delivery. Pretty hot out there earlier. Sun disappeared a little bit. Now it's just kind of cloudy skies, a little hazy. Canadian wildfires still not leaving the headlines yet.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But it's all in all a beautiful night for baseball.
Chelsea's got the DTE Kid Race, the mascot.
Max today, and he is going to take on Buzz. And I told Max this is the coolest thing because I have a prize for him today. And out of my 5 years, I've never given a prize away for the DTE Kids Race the mascot, so no pressure. But if you beat Buzz, you're going to go home with a signed bat by the Beavers catcher, Alex Crump. How cool. But you got to beat Buzz first, okay? On your mark. Get set. Go beat Buzz. All right, I think he's determined, but Buzz is moving a little slow today. Maybe he's a little hot. I'm a little hot, but Max is not going to let that beat him. Come on, guys, make some noise for Max. He really wants that bat. Come on, Max. Oh, I think you got this in the bag. Oh, get it, bud. Good job.
Did you ever gritty across home plate, Nick?
Never have. Never will.
And Max can.
I am retired, but
he just got a fresh bat, so he's allowed to. Signed by that man catching the pitches right now, Alex Crump for the Beavers, catching for Andrew Verbrugge's 3rd inning, still tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd.
I have to take back my statement. I don't want to get called out for it, so I did gritty around 3rd base in a softball game. It wasn't a good gritty, and I'll never do it again.
I have to be honest, I can't picture you having a quality gritty.
No, it wasn't great. It wasn't great, but the hit was.
Was it a home run, and that's why you?
Well, there was no fence, but it was.
Oh, so it went very, very far.
Yeah, it went very, very far, and it was like to walk off for a mercy rule.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I got told to gritty, did it, had my feet all mixed up. I feel like I can do it okay. I got decent rhythm, but I had my feet all mixed up, and it
is difficult. You're hopping and kicking the other foot out, and you're alternating, and it's just it's for the kids.
Yeah, for the kids. It's all it's about.
It's for them, not for us. Liam Morris and Garbasic scheduled hitters. Liam looks at a ball low and outside. Fox Liam this year had a home run stint for a minute there. 3 home runs in a short stretch of games about a week and a half ago. None since. 3 home runs on the year. Does lead all active Mammoths hitters.
The Mammoths have a big lineup. A lot of different areas in this lineup that could go have some pop and put the ball over the fence. And with the wind blowing out, if he gets a pitch here, I would not be surprised.
2-1 swing, fly ball, center field. Davis going back, reaches up, and it's over his head. Ground rule double as it bounces up over the wall. Nice solid swing for Fox Liam and a leadoff man in scoring position.
Tough to tell from up here. I would not be surprised if he broke that bat. And if he did, that's very impressive. The wind is helping him a little bit, but the way that sounded was a little different.
Second hit of the night for Fox. Led things off with a little bleeder single for himself in the first. Turns around and ropes a double over the center fielder's head.
It's a great start to the inning, but putting Verbrugge back in some trouble, and we'll see if he can limit the damage once again.
Morris takes a strike. You mentioned the Mammoths have a big lineup, not just with the numbers and with the swings, physically. Large lineup. They have grown men standing in those batters' boxes.
I remember telling
Morris being one of them.
I remember telling Burl Dixon when Livingston Morris came in specifically, just Burl's 6'5", said, "How's it feel to no longer be the biggest guy on this team?" He just laughed. He had nothing to say about it.
Morris swings and misses at the sweeper from Verbrugge. Strikes out on 3 pitches. And Verbrugge responds to the double with his first swinging strikeout of the night, 4th in total. Verbrugge's first strikeout against this guy, Garbasic, back in the first. 3 pitches on that one. And a first pitch strike on the sweeper.
That sweeper, it's effective. I remember the first time I seen it, I was like, throw that pitch more. And I think tonight he's thrown it for a strike almost every time, and it's always on that lower corner. It's a very hard pitch to hit.
He's gone away from the fastball the last couple batters since the lineup turned over. There is a fastball that he spikes. Just does not have that feel for it in the last couple starts for Andrew. Sweeper at the top of the zone, falls in for a strike 2. Garbasic will call time behind 1-2. And if you're Verbrugge and that's the pitch you're relying on and you just can't really find it with the fastball, I mean, it has to feel good about the sweeper, but that at the same time has to still be a little bit of a helpless feeling on the mound. Another sweeper and gets through softly past the glove of a diving Christian Ortega. Boy, just a seeing eye ground ball from Alex Garbasic behind in the count, and that's runners on the corners now with 1 down.
That one might have been the curveball. It was a little bit lower in velocity. You
Yep.
know, it's tough to tell, but you got to think in that situation. You've already got Garbasic on a couple sweepers. It'd be a tough pitch to go away from. So I'd be curious to see if Crump went away for it or Verbrugge shook him off. But you would probably wish you could have that decision back.
Curveball dotted low and away against Trevor Austin. Austin, 25 years old, out of Georgia. Played 5 seasons down in Georgia at Mercer in the Southern Conference. Swings and misses. Another sweeper. 1-2. That pitch seems like a strike every time.
Great pitch, even there. I mean, he threw it low and away. Wouldn't have been a strike if he didn't swing, but had enough movement and bite on it for him to take a swing and miss.
Verbrugge shook once, now delivers and spikes the fastball, and Liam will come home, slide in safely. Verbrugge dropped the ball for a second. Garbasic advanced to second. Mammoths take the lead 2-1 on the wild pitch.
Not sure what that pitch even was. Just a pitch that got away from him. Nothing Crump could even do about it.
Leadoff double comes around to score in the form of Fox Liam, and the Mammoths have a 2-1 lead. It's 2-2 on Austin. Austin, an Ironman in college at Mercer, has the Mercer record for games played and started. 236. Back up the middle, off the palm of Verbrugge, but he knocks it down cleanly to field and flip to Stubbs for the second out. Garbasic held at second base.
Great job by Verbrugge to knock that down, not panic one bit. Stayed calm, checked the runner at second, kept him there, and got the out at first.
Now Beatles' turn. Curveball strike. On the ground to third. Ortega gets behind it, fields it on an awkward hop. It came up on him. Good reaction time by the third baseman Christian Ortega to get the final out. The Mammoths scratch one more. It is premium run scoring in this game. You have to earn every single bit of it. The Mammoths have just a 1-run lead as we go to the fourth.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Today, the Mammoths, we talked about it, wearing their custom jerseys featuring that awesome Bad to the Bone logo, which fans can bid on now through noon on Saturday, August 12th. You can get your own Bad to the Bone jersey. The auction link is 32auctions.com/BTTB, Bad to the Bone. 50% of all proceeds from this online auction will benefit Michigan Special Olympics, our state's largest sports organization for people with intellectual disabilities. The Woolly Mammoths Bad to the Bone line has quickly become a fan favorite. You can get more than just the jersey here at the USPBL. There is plenty of other Bad to the Bone merchandise available for purchase. Let's take a look at what else we got. Hats, shirts, hoodies galore. Once again, Woolly Mammoth's Bad to the Bone merchandise is available for purchase. Just check out uspbl.com/shop or check out our merchandise shop right here at the ballpark. Just beyond right field foul territory, you can find the merch truck. Not just the jerseys, but the merch looks cool too.
It is. I'm a little jealous, you know, not being a Mammoth anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, especially those Bad to the Bone New Era hats they have. Just went and tried one on before the game. Super nice, super nice. But it's not worth my time.
You're a new man now, a unicorn.
That's it.
Crump quickly behind 0-2 as he fouls the second pitch back. 8-9-1 again in the fourth. Crump, Wilcoxon, and Davis. Alex, one of just 2 hits for the Beavers tonight. That was a double that led things off in the second. Gearing steadied this start last inning with a 1-2-3 inning. Beetle blocks it.
2 good leaves there. Tried to get him with an off-speed pitch, low and away. With 2 strikes, leaves both of them. Puts him in a better hitter's count now at 2-2.
Do we see the knuckleball here?
Absolutely not.
2-2. Fastball low, and Crump stays alive. When would you call for the knuckleball? What count? What situation?
In my experience,
in the backyard at night with nobody around.
Yeah, absolutely. with the blitz ball, maybe. In my experience as a catcher, I've had a few guys that throw knuckleballs, and I don't recall ever being comfortable enough to call it. So my imagination is when he came in here, he talked about that knuckleball, and they just ruled it out.
Crump. Little fly ball right side. That might drop. It's going to drop foul, though.
Especially having the pitching coordinator as your assistant manager, I'm sure they talked about it, and it just wasn't a worthy enough pitch to throw. You know, just already being a 3-4 pitch guy in general. That 5th pitch, I mean, if you're just trying to do a lot, unless you're R.A. Dickey or Tim Lincecum or anything like that. You know, it's like it's not worth it.
People forget how good Tim Lincecum was.
He was really good,
dominant.
and then he just like
fell
off.
Poof.
Yeah, gone.
Big time Timmy Jims, just gone.
Yeah.
7th pitch of the at-bat is put in play, and it's fielded on a backhand by Garbasic. Crump runs well, but not well enough. That big-time Timmy Jim's This Is Sports Center commercial has to be one of my favorites.
Oh, it was great. It's great. There was a lot of good ones.
The baseball ones in particular were really good.
Jorge Posada.
Yep.
Hip, hip, Jorge.
Remember Big Papi with the fitted hat, wearing the Yankees hat, and I forget the Red Sox mascot's name, but he catches him through the glass window.
Yeah, it's just distraught.
Yeah.
You know?
It did look really strange to see David Ortiz in a Yankees cap. Wilcoxon pulled it back. They do get the appeal. Didn't go. 1-1.
They actually just did, because he's on the he does some broadcasting every once in a while on one of the networks, and they gifted him like a Yankees jersey. There was some joke, and whoever got it might have been Alex Rodriguez, just threw the jersey off the stand.
I remember seeing, because Big Papi does some, I think it's studio analyst work. Analyst, that's not a word. Analyst. Analyst work with MLB Network. And Frank Thomas, another big power slugger, also does that. And Big Papi's always a jokester. I don't know if you've ever seen it, the video where Big Papi puts some vodka in Frank's mug without Frank's knowing.
I did.
Strike 3 called on Wilcoxon on the 2-2.
Yeah, that was something. That'd be a rude awakening.
That's not how I would want to start my work day, but lineup flips over, 4th inning, and the 3rd time Chris Davis has come to the plate. He's still looking for his first pitch in the strike zone. 2 4-pitch walks tonight for Chris. And there's ball 1.
I wonder if this is a part of the game plan, you know? Try not to let this guy beat you and pitch the rest of their lineup. So that's 9 straight balls now.
Make it 10.
And he's really settled in. I feel like since the first inning, he's still got a few batters that he wishes he could have back, but he's minimizing damage and he's being around the zone for the most part.
He's retired 6 straight, and that's now 11 straight. Look at Davis. He's got look at that smile on his face.
This is crazy.
Green light
I've
here?
never seen anything like that. Yeah, absolutely. You got to. Well, maybe not. He hasn't swung a bat in a while.
3-0.
There it is.
There it is. First strike to Davis. 3-1.
He's ready to go now. I'd be nervous if I put another one in the zone.
Swings and pops it up. Might be room. Not enough time, though. Hang time, that is. Beetle couldn't get there. Full count. Now, if Gearing turns around and strikes Davis out here, that's just baseball. That's so baseball.
That's all part of the plan. Make sure he doesn't swing a bat his first 2 at-bats. So now he's going
and he's
an
not
hour.
ready, yeah.
He's going an hour of no swings.
Right.
See what happens here.
2 down, nobody on. And the payoff pitch. Inside, he walked him again. Chris Davis, 3 walks tonight. On base percentage, booming.
Billy Bean would be proud.
Now, Billy Bean wouldn't want Chris to steal here, even though there's a chance he does.
That's correct.
So Ortega's 3rd at-bat tonight, 0 for 2 with a couple of contact outs. Hey, look, it's one of your players, Nick, Carsey Walker, man in the camera.
Oh, there he is.
Over there at third base. First pitch, Ortega skies it to left. Williams Nelson coming in. Swirling, he makes the grab. So, 3rd walk to Davis, nothing more. Gearing gets out of the 4th. It's still 2-1 here on the U.S. PBL Network.
You dreamed of starting a company, not an HR department, but your business has grown fast, and so have the complexities of payroll and taxes, benefits administration, and other HR functions. That's why your business needs a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions. Tryon provides businesses of all sizes access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and reset our life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Andrew Verbrugge out for his 4th inning of work. He'll face 9-1 and 2, Seltzer, Dixon, and Williams Nelson. Only 3 hits given up for Verbrugge so far, as well as 3 walks. No matter what, walks, 3 walks, 2 hit batters, 3 hits, still only 2 runs so far. Pretty decent through 3 innings for Verbrugge, given where he's been at this point in some past starts.
Absolutely. You definitely build off the 3 hits, you know, just getting more swings and misses, getting his strikeout numbers up. But
Seltzer first pitch swinging. Ortega's been busy tonight and converts another out.
good quick out there on 1 pitch before you get back to the top of the lineup. But just going back, those 2 runs coming off a walk, a bases loaded walk, and a wild pitch. You know, that's something he wishes he could have it back, but he's just got to dial back in here and get the Beavers another inning or 2 so they can get into their strong bullpen.
It's a bullpen that strong is a good way to categorize it. They have been strong this year, which is why it's a surprise to see the Beavers last in almost every category when it comes to team pitching. Dixon shows bunt, looking for anything to go his way, pulls it back for a ball.
I believe he had a bunt hit opening day for the Mammoths. You know, so not surprising to see him try and pull back out to get out of his slump.
Curveball strike. You don't see bunts too often here in the league. It's just not.
Just goes back to the conversation of bunting's not going to get you out of here.
Exactly. It's not very logical for a lot of these guys.
It is part of the game.
Situational,
right.
But
it's part of the game, and if it's part of your game, you might as well use it, but a lot of guys don't.
Dixon ahead in the count, 2-1. Now 3-1, and perhaps this is a good sign. We talked about how good Burrow was, 24 walks with a high batting average. In this stretch where he's now 0 for 16, the walks and the strikeouts have been pretty different. This one is to left to Malik Bolin, backing up, reaching up, and makes a scary grab, but he does record the out. But in that 0 for 16 stretch, spanning 6 games, for Dixon, it was 9 strikeouts and only 3 walks. But a good swing there. Maybe coming along a little bit.
A little bit. Definitely can build off of it. Wind's blowing out a little bit. Took Bolin back, but didn't go down looking and put a decent swing on the ball. So got to build off it. Got to take the little victories right now and do whatever he can to get back to where he was.
See if Williams Nelson takes the bat off his shoulder. He has to be so scared watching that curveball come at his front hip. Williams Nelson hit twice already tonight in his 2 appearances.
Same situation as Davis, has yet to see a strike. There it is.
Fouls it back. How rare is that? Chris Davis saw 11 pitches before he saw a strike. And in the same game, Williams Nelson was hit twice before he saw a strike. 2 strikes.
I've seen pitchers struggle to where they throw 8 straight balls. I've never seen it happen only to one hitter.
Right.
I don't think he might have been in 2 or 3 other 3-ball counts other than Chris Davis.
Yeah. Back up the middle. Judd won't get there in time as he somersaults and that ball goes into center. Williams Nelson does get a knock, the 4th of the night for the Mammoths. A 2-out base runner. Acrobatic effort by Marcus Judd out there.
Impressive, to say the least.
Mills for the 3rd time tonight takes high and outside. Wondering when we're going to see this Mammoths team that loves to run go for a steal. Williams Nelson scared a couple times in the first 2 times that he was on. He takes a big primary and secondary lead, and with 2 outs, you'd think they want to get that runner in scoring position, so a base knock would score Williams Nelson.
With his speed, left-handed hitter, you know, kind of blocking the catcher's view, I would definitely try and take advantage. But Crump can get the ball down there pretty swiftly, so maybe that's why. Verbrugge's around 1.4 seconds to the plate, so not too slow, not too quick. You know, you'd have to get a really good jump.
2-1, fouled back 2-2. I think the advantage for Williams Nelson in a situation like this is Verbrugge's struggles with the fastball tonight. The off speed has been around 80 and 72 with the curveball, 80 with the sweeper. That's plenty of time for someone with the speed of Williams Nelson to get to second. 2-2, runner goes. Mills hits a high fly ball to right. Back a few steps is Hilbrick. And no more than a few steps. Just short of the warning track. Collects the 3rd out. 2-out base runner is stranded, and it's still 2-1 in favor of the Mammoths. We're moving on to the 5th here on the home for US PBL Baseball.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
Andrew Verbrugge just got out of the last inning, his team trailing by a run as he watches on and hoping to look at some offense. Stubbs, Bolin, and Hilbrick, 3, 4, and 5 due up. Not a ton going on in Major League Baseball today. Kind of in the off day in between series for many teams. Astros and Yankees playing. 3-2 Yankees right now after 3 innings. The AL Central leading Twins are ahead of the Cardinals in St. Louis, 4-1. That's in the top of the 3rd. Phillies already beat the Marlins today. Max Scherzer made his first start in his new uniform with the Texas Rangers. They win over the White Sox 5-3. Scherzer got rocked for 3 runs in the first inning and steadied for another few innings after that with 9 total strikeouts. First pitch outside to J.D. Stubbs, the fastball. The Orioles just keep winning against a good and hot Blue Jays team in the AL East. They win 6-1 over the Jays today. Still Mariners and Angels and A's and Dodgers to come up tonight. And circle this date on your calendar because tonight is a Shohei Ohtani start night.
He's just different.
Really
There's really no way to explain him. And you got to watch him in person.
I was very lucky.
From the booth, too.
Yes.
When he demoralized the Tigers more than we already were.
I mean, he like, there's no other way to put it. In the doubleheader against the Tigers, when Ohtani goes 9 innings, 1 hit, no runs in the first game, and then 2 home runs in the second game, nobody has ever or will ever have a better day of baseball than that. Ever.
He hit 3 home runs and 3 straight at-bats, too, because the second one, after he left Detroit, he went to Toronto.
And let things off with a home
run. Let things off with a home run. So that's 3 home runs, 3 straight at-bats in 2 different countries.
In 2 different countries, yeah, good note. He's averaging, got this stat from Dan Dickerson when he was doing his prep on the Angels. A home run, I'll give you a guess, every how many at-bats?
I'm going to say 22.
Every 7 at-bats.
No way.
Shohei Ohtani is hitting a home run.
That's inhumane. I mean, I felt like 22 was a lot. Like
22 is a low number, yeah. 1-0 to Bolin in for a strike. I think the only way to describe him, no pun intended, he's a unicorn.
Literally.
That's what Shohei Ohtani is.
Literally.
A mythological creature that just simply cannot be real.
Great
Good stop by Beetle.
Obviously, he's not. He's in a little bit bigger of a ballpark than Yankee Stadium. But does he break the record, the home run record that was just broken last year?
It's really difficult in Angel Stadium to hit home runs.
Right.
Like, I don't even know if that's still the name of it anymore, but it is Angel Stadium, yes. But I mean, that's not an easy ballpark to hit home runs. Malik Bolin the other way. That ball is up. That ball is gone. Hit the brick wall in the back. Tough angle to see, but Malik Bolin hits a deep shot, his 4th of the year. Gives the Beavers the lead quickly on the 2-run blast.
99 miles per hour off the bat. That's his 3rd straight high 90 contact right there. He went 96 with his double. 96 or 97 with his line drive that was caught by Burrell Dixon on a diving play, and then 99 right there, 361 feet. Just sneaks over the wall on a line out there to give the Beavers the lead back.
Talked about the conversion of walks earlier in the broadcast. Davis walked in the first and scored. Stubbs walks here and scores. And the Beavers now have the lead, 3-2. Still no outs in the inning for Ray Hilbrick. How about the opposite field power for Malik Bolin?
Just goes back. I mean, Bolin just has a tremendous approach. He, like Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge's approach is just kind of drive a line drive through the second baseman's head, and I know that's what Malik likes to do as well. I mean, his first ball was smoked up the middle. Next one was a line drive up the middle, and then the third one he stays through and just shows that power off to right center.
3 great swings, and he's got 2 hits today, and the Beavers add on more in the 5th with Hilbrick reaching on a base hit.
Elbow guard flying off on that swing. He really brought his hands in on that one, turned it around for a seeing eye single.
You saw Tyler Richley warming in the Mammoths bullpen. Looks like another pitcher or somebody's
Haab
going down there. Jonathan Haab, yes.
Hey, you look for, if Gearing can't get it out of this here, you look for Richley to come in and get you 2 to 3 innings. Get that lead back and get you down into your closer setup role. Try and steal that victory.
Richley Very typically a long inning relief guy. Still not terrible for Gearing yet. Only a 1-run deficit at this point. Just has to get out of this 5th inning. Good chance to record that first out with Ramirez behind 0-2.
You like to see this out of Gearing, going walk, home run, and a single, not bowing down, coming back 0-2 early.
Nearly got him low and inside. Just barely missed, and it's 1-2. Runner goes. Hilbrick got a good jump. Ramirez grounds it to third, and that's very big. Good scoop by Liam, and Hilbrick goes to third on the throw from Garbasic. The runner is out at first. How about the heads-up base running by Hilbrick? He got a great jump going on the pitch, and then with Garbasic, the third baseman, fielding and firing to first, Hilbrick took another 90. That could have been a double play, but because of Ray Hilbrick, it's only one out, and he's 90 feet from home.
Yeah, the stealing really made it a tough defensive play there. I don't think it can go unnoticed how good of a pick that was over by Fox Liam. But
second one tonight for him.
Yeah, phenomenal base running there. Puts them in a really good position to extend this lead with only one out.
Taylor Jellikowski comes out, and he will take the baseball from Chase Gearing. Gets through 4 1/3. Too much damage in the 5th, though. Tyler Richley is coming on for the Mammoths. We'll have that for you after the break here on the USPBL Network.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Chase Gearing is done after 4 1/3, and Tyler Richley comes on. In a bit of a jam, runner on third, one out. Ready to face Marcus Judd. Richley, 19 innings this season, a 3.79 ERA. Second on the Mammoths in total strikeouts this year, 26 to 14 walks for the Ball State graduate. Richley has made 12 appearances this year. One of them was a spot start. Check that, 13 appearances, one of them a spot start. This be number 14. And he's been one of Taylor Jellikowski's favorite relievers to use, especially in a spot like this. Close game, tough situation, and they're going to need innings. Richley is the guy.
Yeah, he's very reliable. I'd expect him to get out of this, maybe allowing this one run. He's not a huge strikeout pitcher, has been throwing a lot more off speed this year, but just you can count on him. You can count on him to go 1, you can count on him to go 2 or 3.
Judd swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. The infield drawn in with the runner at third. It was this exact situation a couple days ago that we had the craziest double play I've ever seen in my life.
Just, I mean, honestly, just a very impressive play by Bryant Schellenberger.
1-1. It was a runner on third. Fox Liam it was for the Mammoths. And 1 out. And Dre Williams-Nelson grounded it to third base. So it went to 5, which was Chandler Dunn. 2-1. And then Dunn threw home to get Liam in a rundown. 5-2. And then the catcher Whit Hughes threw to Pup, who came to field the pickle. 5-2-6. And they got Liam out as he slipped and Pup tagged him out. Judd, fly ball to left, going back Williams-Nelson, now stopping. Hilbrick getting ready to tag. Williams-Nelson behind it, fires the throw in, but it's well up the line, and Ray Hilbrick adds to the Beavers' lead.
It's a great throw. Just took the catcher up the line, Beetle, and they had no play. Had enough on it. Plenty on it to even make that a close play.
There was more than enough steam behind the throw. So Judd gets credited with the RBI on the sac fly. Second out in the inning brings up Alex Crump. But so it went to Dunn. He threw home to Hughes. Hughes threw to Pup to tag out Liam and Williams-Nelson, who hit that ball. As Crump pops right side. Liam giving chase, running, makes the grab. Fox Liam interrupts the story with a good play. The third out. Beavers get a couple across. It's 3 total. They're all credited to Chase Gearing, whose day is done. Tyler Richley's on the mound for the Mammoths. It's still Andrew Verbrugge as of right now for the Beavers. We'll see him on the other side of the break.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier health care and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Beautiful night for baseball. Picture perfect clouds above Jimmy John's Field. Beavers leading 4-2 as we're in the bottom of the 5th. Andrew Verbrugge still out there for his 5th inning of work. We mentioned that the leash is as long as it can be. Gearing's leash got yanked in the 5th, after 4 1/3 innings of work. And the interesting thing for Chase Gearing, he's made 3 appearances. The first one he went 4 1/3. The second he went 4 2/3. And tonight 4 1/3 again. See if Verbrugge can go through the 5th inning.
I'll be curious to see how Taylor Jellikowski manages that, just being with him being a consistent, working into that starter role. You're down the stretch, you're going to want them to get more of a 5-6 inning appearance, just being built up. So, I mean, if he continues to stay along that role, I wonder if there'll be any changes made, or they'll ride with him and go right to their bullpen, kind of like a Tyler Richley, and try and get 2 or 3 innings out of him every outing.
Liam Morris Garbasic scheduled in the 5th, lefty, righty, righty. Verbrugge in his 8 appearances, 24 innings with the Hoppers. Better against righties than lefties. The lefties hit him pretty significantly. .325 in his stint in a green jersey this year. Perhaps a couple situations like this, behind in the count, 3-0 on a good lefty hitter. 4-pitch walk to Fox Liam. 4th walk of the night for Brugge. His first since the 2nd inning, though, so he went 2 innings without giving up any free passes.
That is promising. You know, it's good. Good for him. You know, see if they can limit the damage here once again. Has not been easy every inning, and he's making himself work, but he's been handling it fairly well.
Livingston Morris up for the 3rd time tonight, walking a strikeout today, and he hits a hard ball lined out to center. Davis running back makes the grab. Liam retreats to first. Good swing for Livingston Morris, but it's an out.
Another exit velocity in the 90s, 98 miles an hour on that one. You know, that was pieced up well, but right at Chris Davis, unable to do a job and advance the runners. But not something you can be mad about. Maybe slightly disappointed.
A little
but not mad.
Upset.
Yes.
I'm not mad.
I know plenty about the barrels.
You do. You really do. That was one of my favorite talking points when calling your games last year.
Sometimes you just need that seeing eye single with a broken bat. You got to
Just the
sacrifice
bleeder.
the bat.
Just the one that's a duck fart, some people call it.
That's it.
Good stop by Crump on the 1-0, make it 2-0. Jalen Sewell getting ready in the bullpen. Perhaps Andrew Verbrugge's last inning, no matter what. It is with a lead after the 3-run 5th in the top half of this inning for the Beavers. Malik Bolin, a 2-run home run. Second 4-pitch walk of the inning. Puts 2 on and 1 out. Garbasic reaches for the 2nd time tonight. See him over to second. Trevor Austin to the dish. First pitch outside. Sweeper. Austin looks at it for ball 1. Opponents hitting .304 against Verbrugge with runners on base this year. And he just cannot find the strike zone right now. That's 6 straight. And Alex Crump will give him a breather to go talk it over.
Great idea by Crump. Try and calm him down. He hasn't been able to find the strike zone much here, so trying to dial him back in. You know, you don't want to walk the bases loaded here and put yourself in a lot of pressure right after taking the lead.
What was your go-to sentence or maybe even cliche in a situation like this?
I get asked this a lot, especially now as
Really?
a coach. You know, just taking mound visits, and for whatever reason, whether I'm saying the right thing or just taking the visits at the right time, the Unicorns pitching staff has been pretty successful after I've taken a visit. I mean, I think it's just kind of going out there and just feeling the situation. Sometimes you got to get into them a little bit, but I'll go out there, I'll talk to the catcher, I'll talk to the infielders. Sometimes I don't even talk to the pitcher, you know, and just trying to get his mind off things. And right there, Crump must have had a pretty good visit, and he got him right back into the zone. You just got to try and build off of it. But there's no real right thing to say. Try and crack a joke, loosen it up. Just trying to get him back into his groove.
2-2. Verbrugge responds with a couple strikes. So you're telling me you go out there and crack a knock-knock joke?
A couple jokes that may or may not be said on air.
Curveball close, just misses full count.
Really depends, man. He's got a good defense behind him. It's like, go out there. You don't have to do it yourself. You got a good defense behind you. Get you a ground ball. We'll get you a double play. Get you out of this inning right here and have yourself a good night. You know.
Payoff pitch on the ground to third, and an 8-up Ortega. Liam is going to round the bag at third. He's going to come home. Bolin up with the throw. It's a good one. They did not get him. Crump throws down to third. Garbasic is safe. Fox Liam didn't even slide, and he's still safe at the plate.
Aggressive base running. Fox, not a huge runner. Jelly over at third base tested it. Tested Bolin's arm. Bolin had a good throw home. Couldn't get him out. And it's a little bold to not slide, but he somehow got in there.
You know, I noticed I don't think Liam had anybody behind the plate directing him. Typically, the on-deck batter or someone who would have scored before him would be there coaching, and Zach Beadle, who's a right-handed hitter, was in the right-handed on-deck circle, so not behind home plate from the third base perspective.
Right, that's just,
Liam gets a little lucky, I think.
Just a part of being locked in on the game. That's somewhere you got to be, especially being a catcher and just knowing that situation. You know, Beadle's got to try and find a way to get back there. It is a long run, you know, with the huge foul ball territory, but got to get back there and let him know, you know, because it was super close. And if he slides in, kind of hook slide and tell him to get down to the left, he's got a lot better chance to not make it a close play.
I think this will be it for Andrew Verbrugge. It is, as John Dombrowski takes the baseball. They did go up with an error on the Trevor Austin ground ball. So Liam, for the moment, might be unearned. Jalen Sewell is going to come in to try to finish this fifth inning. Andrew Verbrugge done after 4 1/3. Mammoths threatening to tie or take the lead. It's 4-3 when we come back after the USPBL pitching change.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
4-3 now after the Trevor Austin ground ball that ate up Christian Ortega. They did rule it an error. Fox Liam scores from second on it. Pulls the Mammoths within 1. Alex Garbasic is over at third. He represents the tying run. Trevor Austin at first. 1 down in the inning, and Jalen Sewell on the mound in relief of Andrew Verbrugge.
Sewell, a good arm from the left side. Kind of drops down low 3/4, maybe even a little bit lower. Really tricky matchup for a lefty on lefty. On the right side, I'm not really sure how they see it, but he's got some good stuff, you know, to get out of this inning and come in for Verbrugge and keep them in the 1-run lead.
There's a chance he faces a lefty in this inning. Burl Dixon is in the hole, as it's Beadle, and then Seltzer would be next. And then the lineup would flip over to Dixon. First pitch to Beadle is a slider in for a strike. Jalen Sewell, the 24-year-old native of Decatur, Georgia. Swing and a miss. Upper 80s fastball, 0-2. It's 5 for Sewell. That fastball is a two-seamer, also has a cut fastball. Slider, slurve, changeup. Sewell, one of the other products of the Georgia Gwinnett pipeline here in the league. So many guys won a national championship at that school 2 years ago. Good take
four
from
of them
Beadle.
on the Beavers alone.
Yep.
Luukkonen now coming back.
Yeah.
JD, Sewell, and Ryan Mann.
Yeah, the pitcher of the year from 2 years ago is back in the USPBL. Greg Luukkonen with these Beavers, a former Mammoth. under Taylor Jellikowski. Swing and a miss. Nasty swing from Beadle. It does get away from Crump, though, and the runner comes home. Garbasic scores standing up. Game is tied on the wild pitch.
Tough pitch for Crump to stop. Got to do anything you can to keep it there. You know, it's pretty demoralizing when you take a 2-run lead by scoring 3 runs on top of the 5th, and you come out here and you give it right back. You know, so the Beavers are going to have to come out and continue hitting, and Boland's been a big part of that so far today, so they're hoping to get back around to him with some runners on base.
Seltzer for the 3rd time tonight. First time against Sewell. He looks at a ball outside. Walk and a ground out for Colby tonight. Slider, strike. Mills advanced to second. Excuse me, that's not Mills, that's Trevor Austin. He advanced to second on the wild pitch as well, with Garbasic scoring. He is liking that slider to the backside of the righties for a couple strikes. Sewell is. It's 1-2. 5 innings so far for Sewell this year. Late addition to the league. Got here last week. Skips one in there. Almost got away from Crump, but a good block.
It's a great block. That pitch hit the front of the halo. It's a long hop. Blocked it off his left shoulder. Not sure it felt great, but he did everything he could to keep that guy from advancing.
2 earned runs for Sewell so far. That results in a 3.60 ERA. Really too early to judge any of these numbers with only 5 innings. 2-2. Backed up the slider. Two across in the inning already. Tied at 4. Austin at second, 2 down. The payoff pitch to Seltzer. Swing and a miss. An excuse me swing, then he changed his mind. It would have been ball 4, but instead it's strike 3. Jalen Sewell records back-to-back Ks, but not before the tying run scores. 3 for the Beavers in the top half, 2 for the Mammoths in the bottom half. Net 4-4 between these two teams.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Those young fans happy to see a little bit of offense in the middle innings of this game. 3 runs for the Beavers last inning, 2 for the Mammoths. We're tied at 4. Into the 6th, Tyler Richley working on his 2nd inning. Came on in relief in the 5th to get the final 2 outs. One of them was a sac fly from Judd, though, to score the 4th run. Wilcoxon will be followed by the top of the order, Davis and Ortega. And if you haven't heard us say it before, we'll give you another chance. Ben Wilcoxon is just not your typical 9-hole hitter. It's basically a leadoff man down in the 9th spot.
Yeah, and Chris Davis' success gives them that opportunity to kind of juggle things around. You had 2 leadoff hitters in one lineup. It works out rather well for them.
Behind 0-2, now 1-2. Wilcoxon, 270 average this year. Was an all-star a couple weeks ago. Swings and misses. Richley does what Richley does, and that's strike batters out. It's the first one out here in the 6th. Now Davis is surely to see some more strikes.
Absolutely. Well, we can't speak too soon.
We cannot guarantee anything.
But we think.
No promises on the USPBL network.
And we were
sure enough, ball 1.
Right on cue.
Davis up for the 4th time. He's walked 3 times. Should be a 3 next to that BB on the scoreboard. Swing and a miss.
That's the one thing they don't do on the scoreboard.
The totals of
the totals of walks.
Yeah. Because that BB does not tell the story of Chris Davis's day. He's seen 17 pitches, and only 3 of them have been strikes. This one is put into play, and Liam scoops it easily. All of that just for his batting average to go down as of right now.
OBP up, batting average down.
BA down. Ortega fouls it back. His 4th time up. All 3 previous plate appearances, contact outs. A little bit of everything. Ground out, pop out, fly out. Due for something different. You ever have any nights like this playing with these orangish, purplish clouds with some darkness as well on the horizon, but sunshine? I mean, this is gorgeous.
We do have everything you could want in the sky right now. I feel like it's usually over the 3rd base dugout, though. You know, but it is a beautiful sky. Great view for us up here.
Absolutely. It's got to be pretty cool to play under as well.
Yeah, it is great. I mean, it's great. It looks good, but it makes it tough to catch fly balls.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a good
lot
look
of guys
at it.
don't see it. Like, as a catcher, you see the ball go up, but I can't really do anything for those guys out there that can't see it.
Ortega swings and misses at the breaking ball from Tyler Richley. Easy 1, 2, 3. A pair of strikeouts for Richley. Bottom of the 6th due up here on the USPBL network.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Buzz looking for something to cheer about. He needs a scoreless inning to keep this game tied in the 6th. Top of the order due up for the Mammoths. Tyler Richley, 2 strikeouts in the top half of this inning. Sewell had 2 strikeouts of his own in the bottom half of the 5th to end that inning. Beavers were able to get 2 runs on 0 hits in the 5th. 2 walks came from Verbrugge. Fox Liam scored on the error from Trevor Austin. And then when Zach Beadle struck out, that pitch got by the catcher Alex Crump and allowed Alex Garbasic to score to give the Beavers the lead. Now tied with the Mammoths getting 2 of their own in the bottom half of the 5th. See if they can add on in the 6th.
Attempting the bunt again. Really trying to get out of that slump. Tough matchup here for him too, just with that arm slot of Sewell. You know, running his pitch up 89 and 92. It's gonna be a tough at bat for Dixon to get out of that slump, but maybe this is what it'll do.
0 for 3 tonight. 2 for his last 23. Fouls it back and he's behind 0-2.
He did it.
Fly ball to right side. That's lined well. Hilbrick past his glove. Dixon's got speed. That's all the way to the wall. He'll go to second. He checks it and pulls in at second base with a leadoff double in the 6th. Burl Dixon. That's 2 good swings tonight, and that one is finally given a good result.
Stayed true to it right there. You love watching the reactions out of guys getting out of the slump. He's still clapping out there. He's feeling good about that one with no outs. Man on second. 2-hole hitter with Troy Williams-Nelson up here. You're looking to bring that runner home and take the lead.
Trey Williams-Nelson, a good night. He's reached in all 3 plate appearances. Swings through strike 1. Hit twice in a single for Dre.
And to note, that was another ball hit in the 90s, 93-mile-an-hour exit velo. There's been a lot of hard hit balls today.
Up and away. To clarify for our viewers at home, hard hit balls is a real stat. It's a countable stat. In Major League Baseball, the exit velocity has to be 100 miles an hour or more. Here in the USPBL, we fudge it down to 90 because if we did it at 100, there'd be very few hard hit balls all season long.
You'd see him consistently with a few guys. There's probably been a couple guys in the league that can get it over 100 miles an hour every once in a while, but I think if you're getting 90, 95 plus, that's a hard hit ball here for sure.
2-1, chopped. Stubbs there. Sewell a race to the bag. Williams-Nelson close. He gets knocked over. They call him out, and Sewell has to work Dixon back to third. Trey Williams-Nelson took a shot running into Sewell. That is not a small man, and he's down over at first base.
Looks like his helmet might have hit the ground and kind of ran up on his forehead. But you're right, he's not hitting a small guy there. And there's no way any contact would feel good, but nothing Sewell could do to get out of the way. It's a bang-bang play.
Jalen Sewell, 6'4", 225.
Hope he's all right. That at-bat did do a job, though.
He moves the runner over to third. There's only 1 out now. Williams-Nelson, just a little bit smaller than 6'4", 225 Jalen Sewell. He's 5'7", 175 listed. We're going to give Williams-Nelson a couple minutes as he gets checked out by the trainers down there just beyond first base. We're here in the 6th inning. Runner on third, 1 down. Game tied at 4 between the Beavers and the Mammoths on the USPBL network.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
Travion Williams-Nelson is up and walking off the field under his own power, and that is a very good sight to see. He collided with Sewell on a bang-bang play, the pitcher for the Beavers, at first base on the ground ball to the first baseman, J.D. Stubbs, and likely that Williams-Nelson is coming out of this game. He doesn't go back to the dugout. He goes back to the clubhouse behind home plate here. So the infield is drawn in, one out, and Burl Dixon over at third as he advanced from second on the ground out by Williams-Nelson. First pitch to Patrick Mills is in the dirt and blocked by Alex Crump.
Tough lefty-lefty matchup. Mills has just got to be looking to put the ball in the air here to bring Burl home. Probably doesn't need to be too deep with Burl's speed, but got to get a put swing on it.
Missed outside with the 1-0. Mills 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. The 2-0, swing and a miss. Patrick getting comfortable in the new league. 5th game for him here in Utica. Stopped by Crump again.
We've seen a few of those run-saving blocks today. A couple runs scoring on wild pitches. Despite those, there's been some really good defensive catching by both Beadle and Crump.
Yeah. Sewell needs a strike. One down and a runner on third. Behind 3-1. He does get it at the top of the zone. Mills already a couple RBIs, 3 to be exact. Full count. And he walked up. It's the first walk for Sewell since coming on last inning. Fox Liam has had a great night. Scored twice, reached in all 3 plate appearances. Single, double, walk. Now finds himself in an RBI situation. You would think this would be a really good spot for Sewell to come into this game. 3 lefties in the first 4 batters of the Mammoths lineup. But of the 2 lefties he's faced tonight, both have reached. Mills obviously with the walk, and Dixon started this inning with a double.
Yeah, these lefties are definitely hitters he's got to take advantage of coming out of the bullpen with that lower arm slot at left on left. He definitely holds the advantage, and he is not taking advantage of it right now.
Behind 2-0 and make it 3. It's too early to say whether the walks are an issue for Sewell, but the numbers don't jump at you in 5 innings. 6 walks and 8 strikeouts. That's before tonight.
If Liam does reach here, too, I believe we will have a Georgia Gwinnett matchup with Livingston Morrison and Jalen Sewell.
You'd be correct, sir. Sewell hopes that doesn't happen, looking for a double play, but it will happen. Full count walk to Mills, then a 5-pitch walk to Fox Liam. Bases loaded, only one out. Livingston Morris looking for his first hit tonight. Two former teammates digging in against each other. Righty versus lefty. Infield drops back to double play depth. Play is at any base. Morris swings and it's a first pitch. A high bouncer over the head of Ortega. Perfect placement. Dixon scores. Mills is held at third, and the Mammoths take the lead on the first pitch. Morris just shrugs. Get it any way you can, big fella.
He'll take him. That was a high hopper. Gave Ortega no chance over at third base. Bring in the 1 run, take the lead. Still with the bases loaded on only 1 out. You got to look to put something in the play and avoid any double play opportunities.
Bases stay loaded for Garbasic. He takes a first pitch strike. Alex is 1 for 2 today, but has reached twice. He walked last inning, eventually came around to score. Check swing. The appeal? He went 1-2. Very awkward swing for Garbasic on the breaking ball.
I have a big love-hate relationship with appealing to the umpire in the middle of the field. But with a 2-man crew, it's tough, and I believe Sal in the field, the umpire, made the right call there.
1-2. Check swing. We're going to get your appeal here. We won't. 2-2. Is your love-hate relationship love the appeal when it's a strike and hate the appeal when it's a ball?
Yeah, and if I'm hitting?
Yeah, obviously.
Opposite,
the inverse,
right.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a tough view, you know? You need them down the line to make that
That's
call.
true, yeah.
Can't really see the front edge of the plate too clearly, so it's a tough one to appeal, but with a 2-man crew, you have to.
2-2. Slider, ooh, very close. Instead, it's ball 3. Bases loaded, 1 out. The payoff pitch to Garbasic. Not the payoff pitch. I had ball 4, partner. Scoreboard said 2-2. It said 2-2 before that last ball. I think this is supposed to be a walk. Nobody's caught it. We're going to do the 3-2 again.
There it is.
It is still a walk. All right, everything is just in the world.
I'd be curious to see what that actually was.
Don't get me wrong. I'll make a mistake every so often. I'm no stranger to him up here, miscounting balls and strikes on occasion. But that, I'm almost positive, was ball 4.
I agree with you there.
Garbasic just got 5 of them.
Here comes Diesel.
So Mills does score. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Only 1 down still in the inning. Beavers bullpen has been busy this whole inning. Sewell still got the ball in his hand. Jesse Galindo's over there, Michael Esposito. It'll stay Sewell here in the 6th. Trevor Austin for the 4th time tonight. Liam at 3rd, Morris at 2nd, Garbasic at 1st. The first pitch to Trevor Austin is blocked by Crump. 1 ball and no strikes.
Sewell's got to look to make a quick adjustment here. You got to limit the damage and try and keep this 2-run lead and go in there and get back to hitting and try and tie this game up. But he's making pretty similar adjustments here. Back in there.
There's a good slider for a strike.
A lot of sliders, it seems like.
I was just going to say that.
Primarily a two-pitch guy, but a lot of sliders recently.
Now, if we remember, the mix is 5. Pair of fastballs, a two-seam and a cutter, and then slider, slurve, changeup. I always refer to cutter, slider, slurve as fast, slow, and slower.
Right.
It's just, again, essentially the same
Simple
pitch.
way to look at it.
Yeah.
Simple game.
Right.
But it does seem like he's only a two-pitch guy tonight.
Fastball has been high 80s, low 90s, mainly high 80s. See what he goes here. 1-2. Slider on the ground. Fielded by Ortega. Goes to second, and he threw it away. Just softly into right. 1 run has already scored. Livingston Morris scores standing up as the 2nd run. What an unusual play to add to the Mammoths' lead.
Couldn't tell if he second-guessed himself or what, but it looked like that ball just kind of slipped out of his hands. Gave Judd no chance to catch the ball there.
So Liam and Morris scored. Garbasic got over to third as he was sliding into second on that throw. And then advanced as it went into right. Austin reaches, it goes up as an error. That's the 2nd time in back-to-back innings Trevor Austin has reached on an error. John Dombrowski comes out, takes the ball from Jalen Sewell. It'll be Jesse Galindo after the pitching change. Now 8-4 Mammoths in the 6th on the US PBL Network.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Jesse Galindo trying to put back together this 6th inning. He's got Zach Beadle waiting in the wings. Garbasic is over at third, Austin at first, and only 1 recorded out. Mammoths have put up 4 runs to take a 4-run lead, 8-4. Jesse Galindo, the 24-year-old native of North Hollywood, California. Talked to him the other day about his pitch mix. He actually has 6 pitches this year. He's got the 2 arm slots, which he throws the same pitch from different arm slots, and he makes a great point that it actually is different pitches.
Right, and that's, I mean, as he was a starter earlier in the year, it's hard to kind of maintain that over a long period of time. So out of the bullpen, I feel like he's been a little bit more effective, just being able to kind of mix it up more and more. And you'll see a lot of different arm slots here in this inning alone.
So there we see the first pitch sidearm. I think that might have been the changeup. He throws the changeup and the slider from the sidearm and the fastball, and then throws them all over the top, and also adds the curveball over the top from that slot. There goes over the top. That's a curveball that misses, as Beadle fouled it away, though.
Yeah, once you drop that arm slot down, it just becomes tougher to kind of get that curveball. You're not getting on top of the ball. So you can throw a really effective slider from that arm slot, but the curveball is just completely eliminated.
Let's go Beetle chants from the crowd. He fights it off, stays alive, 0-2 with a foul ball.
For the kids, Beetle. Got to do it.
Possibly friends and family in the stands for the Livonia, Michigan native. There they are. Slider outside, 1-2. It's a large contingent here at Jimmy John's Field for Zach. And he uses it for an RBI base knock. Garbasic scores easily. Austin motors to second. Zach Beetle, RBI base hit, makes it 9-4.
Great at bat by Beetle. Kind of
Really
adjusting
was.
and battling since the beginning. Straight to a two-strike count. Fouls the pitch off, takes a pitch, and gets just enough of it over Wilcoxon's head to bring in just another run. It's a big inning for the Mammoths here.
Galindo in maybe a more calming situation. Doesn't get an out, but he doesn't have a runner staring at him 90 feet from home, at least. Forced play on with runners on first and second. I think Seltzer caught a piece of that. Either way, it's strike two. Timeout called by Colby. He's the 9th batter to the plate in the bottom of the 6th for the Mammoths. Started with the Burrell-Dixon get me back double. Only recorded out was to Williams-Nelson. If you remember, that was when he collided with Sewell at first base and I believe left this game. He'd be up in 2 batters, so we'll find out possibly pretty soon. Two and two on Seltzer, who is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight.
Little fireworks show behind center field for us.
Way too late for fireworks.
Before, yeah.
The August 3rd fireworks show. I forgot about that one.
Oh, yeah, me too.
How could I? 2-2 up the middle, fielded by Galindo, goes to second for 1. Wilcoxon throw to first. Double play. Jesse Galindo showing that pitchers are athletes too. Mammoths do get 4 across in the 6th, though, and they now lead it by that many. It's 9-4, excuse me, 5 across. It's 9-4 on 7 hits for the Mammoths as we head to the 7th.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Four. Mammoths breeze to a 5-run 6th inning. Take the lead 9-4 over the Beavers. You like that one, partner?
That was good. That was good. I'm proud of you for that one.
Windy flags, breezy inning. Get it. Tyler Richley had an easy breezy 6th inning as well. 1-2-3. That feels like a long time ago. He struck out Wilcoxon, got Davis to ground out, and then struck out Ortega. So that means he'll face Stubbs, Bolin, and Hilbrick after sitting for a long time. Not only was it a long inning because the Mammoths scored 5 runs, but we did have to pause for Dre Williams-Nelson, who got injured. He is not back in the game, as I believe that's Livingston Morris out in left. That's Ward Hacklin actually into the game, off the bench. So he'll take the place of Williams-Nelson in the lineup and in left field. Stubbs has already worked 2 walks tonight. Struck out once. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
That was a long break for Richley and the Mammoths defense. You know, he seems to be adapting well, but that's something as a pitcher where you have to be ready for it, and you love the runs, but it also, sitting for a while can tighten you up, so you got to find a way to stay loose, and yeah. Richley's doing well so far.
Talked to a couple guys about that. It's always that balance you look for in that kind of joke, like, hey guys, thanks for the offense, but now I'm out of my groove.
Yeah, can't you get 5 runs in 15 minutes instead of 30?
Can't you span it across 3 innings instead of all in one? 3-2, got him, strike 3. Stubbs knew it as soon as he saw it. Perfect pitch from Richley, low and away. That's 2 straight strikeouts and 3 of the last 4.
Malik Bolin with a great week so far. In the non-public, he had a triple and a double, and a home run today. So he's hit for the cycle this week.
His first professional triple, he said. He's a double and a triple away from the cycle tonight.
I'm not too sure we're going to see another triple out of Malik.
He did mention that it required not 1, but 2 outstretched fielders diving for a ball and it getting past them for him to get his first triple.
Everything he needed and more happened, and he still tested it.
Fouled it back. It originally went in as a double, actually, and
that is what I heard.
He went to Mike Zielinski, our scorer here, and talked it over with him, had the conversation, because apparently, now I wasn't here, and you weren't either.
I was.
You were.
I was here.
So you saw it. As Bolin strikes out, back-to-back Ks for Richley, 1 looking, 1 swinging.
I was here, and without a doubt, it was a triple.
Okay.
He never hesitated.
He said the ball got into the infielders, and instead of throwing it into second, they ran it in, and he went on
from
the
my recollection,
throw.
He was around second already, didn't break stride, and the ball was at the cut, which was just deep behind shortstop.
Okay.
So it was a typical routine play, but right center gap, you know, I believe it was against the Beavers, and Chris Davis dove. And
up the middle, and Hilbrick gets a 2-out base hit. Well, it couldn't have been against the Beavers because Bolin plays for the Beavers.
That is correct. I have been mistaken. It was against the Hoppers. And the dove, let it get to the warning track, and he just kept going, you know, using that blazing speed of his. And he was in safely. There was all the way through and through, it was a triple.
So Hilbrick is on, Ramirez is up. An RBI tonight for Rudy after taking 1 square on the back in the first inning. That was with the bases loaded. Richley has been a steady arm in the bullpen, as we mentioned, this season. Better against righties than lefties, very significantly, over 100 points of batting average. Ramirez chases the high fastball, 2-1. Sweeper misses outside. It's a four-seam fastball, cutter, curveball, sweeper, and changeup for Richley. Now full count.
Rung Beetle a little bit on that foul ball.
Yep. And similar to Sewell for Richley, it's those pitches that break away, and it's fast, slow, and slower.
Yeah, that sweeper seems to be a trend in this league this year. Pitching coordinator Justin Carnes very good at teaching it. You know, tough for the hitters to hit, but the pitchers have been succeeding off that pitch tremendously.
Richley in particular loves that pitch, and the cliche is the art of pitching. Richley loves the science of pitching.
Absolutely,
He's a track man machine and understands the science behind the baseball so much. Runner goes on the 3-2. It was ball 4 as the throw goes into center. So with 2 outs, 2 in a row have reached for the Beavers. Maybe Marcus Judd can keep the inning alive. It's the first walk for Richley. Judd, first pitch swinging over Seltzer and over his head. He falls as it drops. Hilbrick scores easily. The throw into second. Ramirez was in there safely. Marcus Judd, no surprise, first pitch swinging, and he gets his second RBI of the night. Hilbrick, good base running from second. 2 outs anyway, so understandable. First pitch swinging is Crump. This one's to left over shortstop, but able to back up and make the play was Trevor Austin. So Beavers get one back. They still trail 9-5. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th with the Woolly Mammoths on the US PBL Network.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Couple fans have stuck around late here at Jimmy John's Field, nearing the 10 o'clock hour, but not quite. But almost 9:30, which means it's been 2.5 hours since we started. 2.5 hour rule in place tonight, which means the 8th inning, the following inning after we finish the 7th, will be the last one. Mammoths in front, so the top of the 8th could be the last chance for the Beavers.
We haven't seen the time limit come into effect too much this year, but this game, with the amount of walks and hit by pitches, you know, those grueling first 4 innings has definitely totaled up and causing the 8th inning to be the last inning. So Beavers are going to have to look to do some damage here in that top of the 8th to force extras, hopefully.
for the Beavers through 7. It's 5 runs on 5 hits. They don't have any miscues defensively, but they've left 9 men on the base paths. Burl Dixon, second hit tonight. This one's into the gap and left. This is double territory for Burl. Easily with those long strides into second base. Back-to-back doubles in back-to-back innings, and he's fired up, as you can see it on his face. Turnaround day for Burl Dixon. Now 2 for 5.
Back-to-back doubles, going up to his 9th double on the year. And 9 doubles in a park like this, where there's not as many gaps, is a great number. You know, that's a number that's definitely going to lead the league and probably finish atop the league. So good to see Burl back swinging the bat and adding to those double tallies.
Reminder, it's Ward Hacklin in place for the injured Trey Williams-Nelson on the collision last inning. Haven't had any official word on the condition of Williams-Nelson. That gets through the left side. Ward Hacklin comes on and gets an easy base hit. Mammoths threatening again. Bottom of the 7th, 2 on and nobody out. Thing that stands out for Burl tonight with the doubles is 1 to right center and 1 to left center. 2 really good swings. He has a trio of good swings tonight.
Absolutely. It's good to see. He's a good hitter, you know, just never giving up on himself and staying true to his approach. You know, tried to get some bunt singles back in there, didn't get them down, and just went right back to his approach and peppering the ball over the field. That gap-to-gap hitting, you know, really gets you out of that slump.
This is Galindo's second inning of work. He came on and faced 2 batters last inning in relief of Jalen Sewell. Two and 1 on Mills, who walked and scored in the 6th. Foul back. Said 150 on the radar gun on the scoreboard, partner. That's a new record here in the league.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He'll bump it up there every once in a while.
Mills stays alive again on the 2 and 2. Hacklin at first, Dixon at third. None down. Mills again with the foul ball. Bullpen still busy. The left-handed thrower, Michael Esposito. Ready just in case. Swing and a miss. Mills well out in front of the off-speed. Galindo got him for strike 3. Big first out. Galindo's first strikeout. Looks like Jonathan Habb will have the 8th inning. Fox Liam has reached in all 4 plate appearances. If we were to play the full 9 innings, he and the top 4 hitters would likely get 6 appearances at the plate tonight. Don't see that too often.
No, sure. Man, with offenses come around, you know, with the amount of walks they've drawn and hits.
Especially, you don't see that too often, especially in a game that's not a huge blowout. I mean, 4 runs. That's 1 big inning for the Beavers. That's nothing.
Absolutely. It's very, very manageable still. You're just getting into the closer roles of the bullpens. It's going to be tough for them to get across. They're going to have to put together some good at-bats.
Check swing. Whoa, Liam. Let's say, partner, went around, but they don't call it.
I would say so.
I think he thought he went around, too. Chased the high fastball.
But going back to that appeal to the middle of the field, it's a tough call for that umpire to make.
This is a big pitch now. Runner goes, swing and a miss, but it tipped it. Hacklin will have to go back to first. Dixon stayed put at third. It was a run for each of these squads in the first. Then the Mammoths took the lead in the third by 1. Beavers responded with 3 in the 5th. But so did the Mammoths with 2 of their own in the bottom half. Then the big inning was obviously the last one. 5 runs for the Mammoths to put 9 on the board. Good stop by Crump. Now 2-2. Check swing. No appeal this time. Fox Liam, who was behind 0-2 and we thought struck out, looking at a full count now.
Battled back, despite whether he went or not. He's battled back. He's got a full count, and he's looking to keep this inning alive.
Sometimes better to be lucky than good. 3-2. Got him looking. Strike 3. A little bit outside. Liam strikes out looking. It's back-to-back Ks for Galindo. Some might say a makeup call. I don't believe in the makeup call. I don't know about you.
I think baseball's a game of averages. It always evens itself out. That's about all. The only answer I can give to that. But ball might have been a little bit off the plate, but we do believe he did go around. So,
yeah. Looks like Galindo was pleading his case with Dombrowski to stay in there and finish this inning. He will go to the lefty Esposito to try to get Livingston Morris and get out of this 7th inning. Keep the Beavers with a chance in the 8th. We'll be back after the pitching change here on the USPBL Network. Michael Esposito, 1 out left in the 7th inning. His team trailing by 4 runs. Jesse Galindo got into a bit of a jam. Started this inning with a double to Burl Dixon, a single to Ward Hacklin, but then followed it up. Struck out Mills swinging, Liam looking. Now 2 down. Esposito needs 1 more out to give his team a fighting chance in the top of the 8th, which, if you're just joining us, the 2.5-hour rule has been implemented, so the 8th inning will be our last inning, and if everything remains the same, we'll only play half of that with the home team Mammoths leading 9-5. Esposito, the 23-year-old native of Port Washington, New York, has been a lights-out reliever for the Beavers this season. From that left side, mid to upper 90s fastball. Mainly fastball slider for him. Does have a changeup.
Esposito definitely a power pitcher. You'll see a lot of that fastball. Very little of that slider. That fastball works for him. That first pitch already at 95. You'll see him around that 94 to 96 range here.
And you might be asking yourself, Galindo just got out 2 lefties, and after he started the inning, as Hacklin goes in the pitch, Morris swings and misses. No throw down from Crump. Hacklin got a great jump. But you might be asking yourself, why bring Esposito in to face the righty when Galindo just got the lefties. Why not bring him in when there were lefties? Well, essentially nobody gets hits off Esposito. And there's good evidence of that. 3 pitches to Livingston Morris, not close on any of them, and a strikeout. Esposito gets him out of the 7th. Beavers last chance. They got to tie or take the lead when we come back in the top of the 8th on the USBBL Network.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
It'll be Jonathan Hab's 8th inning. 4-run lead for his team over the Beavers. The last chance for the Beavers. They start in a good spot of the order at least. Wilcoxon, Davis, Ortega due up in the visiting half of the 8th inning. This is our last inning. 2.5-hour rule here on Thursday night. Been a long night. A lot of walks, a lot of hit batters. Not a ton of hits, but you can see the offense on the scoreboard. 14 total runs. So we'll only play 8. You can see the path to the comeback, though, partner. Guys who get on base at the start of this inning in Wilcoxon and Davis. And then you need a couple big swings down by 4 runs because they need base runners first. Stubbs, Bolin, Hilbrick waiting in the wings should it get to them.
Beavers exactly where they want to be here. You got to put together some really good team at-bats. Don't be too aggressive here. Wait till you get your pitch. Make Hab work a little bit, throw a little bit more pitches, try and get on base any way you can. And there's been a decent amount of walks in this game, so they're hoping they can draw a few more until they get to the middle of that lineup.
First pitch, fastball, beautiful. Strike 1 to Wilcoxon, who is due tonight. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Fastball low. Hab, 23 years old, out of Norcross, Georgia. Guess where he went to college?
Georgia Gwinnett.
Yes, another Georgia Gwinnett national champion.
It's a powerhouse.
Breaking ball on the 1-1. That's a curveball, I believe. He's got slider and curve. They often look very similar. At 78, I'm going curveball.
I feel like you could almost just call it a sweeper.
That's true.
Said it a lot.
I choose. On the ground to third, Garbasic, steady-handed over there, and that's the first out. Flips to Davis, who has reached 3 times with no base hits tonight. All walks. I'm going to say it again. 17 pitches for Davis that he's seen tonight. 3 strikes.
Does Hab throw him a strike here?
Absolutely.
All right. You would be right.
Perfect pitch. Low and away with the fastball. Dotted for strike 1. So it is forcing fastball, slider, curveball, changeup for Hab. The fastball, one of the better ones in the league. Spinny and low 90s. 2-2 to short. On a backhanded hop, Trevor Austin. Quick throw, but it gets away from Liam Davis. Trying to go to second. It does stay in play. Beadle will have no throw. That could be costly. Keep an eye on the result of that at bat. E6. Davis to second base. Brings up Ortega.
Fox Liam with a few good picks today. That one hopped up on him. He's unable to make the play. That could be exactly what the Beavers need to get something going here.
Goes in as an error. Luke Stevenson pitch hitting for Christian Ortega. Beavers will have to make some defensive changes if we get to the bottom half of this inning. Stevenson, a catcher by trade, takes a ball in.
Stevenson only hitting 163, but does have some very impactful at-bats. And he had a bases-clearing double last Saturday. He's got a couple home runs on his stat sheet. Looking to really just keep this inning going here.
Yep, he does have the pop. 2 home runs this year for the rookie. One and one. Swing and a miss. Good fastball. Hab, 12 innings so far this year. ERA does not reflect how effective he has been. It's a 5.25. You want to know what reflects how effective he's been? 3 walks, 16 strikeouts in 12 innings.
Very good ratio. Most of his ERA comes from about 1 hit per outing. I think he gave up a 3-run home run to Felix Averette on the Unicorns, and he gave up another home run the other day.
Inside with the slider. 2-2. 2 home runs in the year given up for Hab. That's about league average, I would guess. Every pitcher in the league, for the most part, the average pitcher in this league has given up at least 2.
I'd say it's a fair guess, fair assumption.
I've noticed, too, the home runs, there are a couple guys who just, the long ball is not their friend. Stevenson fouls it back. But I have noticed that the home run can correlate with, understandably, just innings numbers for pitchers.
Yeah,
for example,
absolutely.
Garrett Martin leads the Mammoths in home runs given up at 4. He's also thrown almost double innings of their second-place guys. He's 55 with the team lead. Stevenson staying alive, but not any longer. Slider got him inside. That was a good at-bat, but he gets caught looking for the second out, and the last chance comes to J.D. Stubbs.
Yeah, you'll see home runs. You'll get your good power hitters. There's a handful of them in this league, but you got 315 feet to left and 320 to right. So all you need is a good hit ball and a little bit of wind, and it could just go out. So you'll see a couple of those, but I would say there's a very good correlation between innings and home runs.
Kicks away from Beadle, and Davis didn't have a good jump. He maybe could have gotten to third there. Zach Beadle didn't really know where it was for a couple seconds. Davis still in scoring position with 2 outs. Stubbs doesn't need much here to bring him home. We've already seen a 3-run 2-out rally this season. It's from the team that's winning right now by 4 runs.
Piece by piece here. Just looking to find your pitch and put a good swing on it.
Stubbs fouled the fastball off the plate.
Beadle just getting beat up right now.
Did he catch another one there?
I believe that did go off him. Pitch before that went off his foot. That one off his knee area from this angle. That's what it looked like, and he took an early one off the mask.
You have known all too well what it's like to get beaten up back there.
Yeah, it's PTSD at this point. Hate to see it happen. Happy it's not me.
Yep. One and one. 2-1.
Right back to it. Blocking a fastball in the dirt. Staying true back there, staying strong. Beatles grinding out this last inning, trying to help his team secure that victory without giving up a run.
Hab facing the lefty Stubbs. Likes righties better than lefties. They're hitting 250 against him. Righties 207. On the ground. Fielded on the backhand by Seltzer, but it ate him up. Davis will come around to score as it trickles into center field. Beavers inch closer. They still need base runners, but it's now just a 3-run ball game with 2 outs. Seltzer given the error. That's the second middle infield error this inning. Mammoths went unscathed all night up until this inning. E6 allowed Davis to reach. E4 puts Stubbs on. Allows Davis to score.
One run closer.
Boland's already homered today. Has 2 hits. Hit a 2-run blast back in the 5th. Opposite field. Check swing. They appeal, he didn't go.
There it is again.
I agree with that one. I don't think he went.
I don't think he went either, but
it's tough with 2 umpires.
It is very tough.
I think one of the underrated tough aspects that players are familiar with, but maybe fans aren't, is the ground ball or the long fly ball down the line. If it is not for one down the first base line, the first base umpire can't do anything about it.
Right.
And if it's like the sharp ground ball that's right to the bag at third, very tough for the home plate umpire to get out from behind his crouch behind home plate and move to his right to look down the third or first base line and see that. And sometimes you can't help but wonder. We certainly don't have a great view up here, but sometimes you can't help but wonder how many base hits maybe get missed or added because of that.
Absolutely. I mean, the home plate umpire has to focus on calling a ball or a strike and then has to hop out and see a ball that could be hit 90 to 100 miles an hour. It's a very tough view.
2-2, got him looking, strike 3. Boland took a close fastball. That'll end the game. Mammoths concede a run in the 8th. It's a good thing they led by 4. 9-6 the final after 8 innings here on the US PBL Network. Mammoths stay in first place as they move to 18-14 on the year. The Beavers fall to 14-18. It was that big 6th inning, partner. 5 runs for them. They also had 2 in the 5th before that. They just took advantage. Not a big offensive day as far as the swings, but it was a good lineup, and 9 batters in that 6th worked well together.
Yeah, the offense strung it together. They took advantage of their walks, the errors, scored some runs. You know, put 9 runs up on the board, you're in a good position to win. You know, sadly for the Beavers, that's the 2nd game this week they've given up 9 runs, so that pitching's really going to have to look to dial in, come around Saturday and try and get back in the win column.
Beavers fall to the Mammoths 9-6. Stick around for our post-game show here on the US PBL Network. We'll have the player of the game after the break.
We build, Roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers, our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier health care and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Post-game show here on the USPBL Network with our player of the game, leadoff hitter and center fielder for the Mammoths, Burl Dixon. And Burl, the topic of mine and Nick's conversation today when you would come up to bat for the broadcast was just plainly put, the tough streak you've been on lately. Coming into today 0 for your last 14, and you started today 0 for 3. And you had kind of joked with me earlier before the game, said, oh, you go 0 for a couple of times, they don't want to talk to you anymore. But so it was on your mind coming into today. Jelly put you in the leadoff spot for a different spot. Now, first, I want to ask about going 0 for 3 to start. You get to that 6th inning right before your first base hit. Right. What's going through? Is the pressure mounting when that happens? When you're like, man, I still don't have a hit today?
For sure. So on a 0 for streak, the thoughts starts like creeping, like, okay, how can I get myself out of this? But I was on deck and Draven, I said, hey man, you look tense. I was like, all right, let me just deep breath, relax. Did that and got a good pitch to hit. I flew out to left field. I was like, okay, that felt a little different. That felt good. Took it into my next at-bat, had a good approach, put a good swing on the ball, and that kind of just got me going. And I was like, all right, let's just stay relaxed and just get a good pitch to hit. And I think that's what got me back going.
How important is it when you get off a streak like you had to not only just get a base hit, but to have a day like you did where you had 3 good swings, a double to each field, 1 to right, 1 to left? How important is it to actually have a good day, not just find a base hit somewhere?
Yeah, it's really huge. You're on an 0 for streak and then you come back and just barrel balls. It's like, okay, here we go. Now I'm back. So going that swing to left field felt like my best swing of the whole year. Fastball down and away, stayed right on it, drove it. Felt good.
Do you think Taylor Jellikowski switched from you in the 2-hole to the leadoff spot helped you today?
For sure. I'm a natural leadoff hitter. I put together good at-bats and just line the ball over the field. And I've hit leadoff quite a bit throughout my whole life, so I feel just really comfortable in that spot.
Huge 6th inning for you guys, led by you with the double to start. You guys tack on a couple runs, take the lead, end up winning this game. 8 wins in the last 10 games. You guys are in first, 4 games above 500, 18-14. Things are just clicking right now for your offense. What's been key over this last 10-game stretch for you guys to be successful?
Man, I think we're just coming through with guys on base and putting together some big innings. Teams will come out and punch us, and we'll punch right back. So we're not quitting, and we're just fighting hard and getting guys on base and getting them in.
Couple good wins for the Mammoths. Burl Dixon with a good game, and they win this one over the Beavers 9-6 in 8 innings. They're 18-14 on the year. Burl Dixon, our player of the game. Good game, Burl. We appreciate you. Thank you as always. That's all for us on the USPBL Network. Got another game for you tomorrow at 7 o'clock right here from Jimmy John's Field.